Weeds on the tracks, on the tracks, on the tracks. On the tracks, on the tracks. On the tracks, on the tracks. On the tracks, on the tracks, on the tracks. On the tracks, on the tracks, on the tracks.
Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another reality check virtual radio Blacklight Revelations podcast. I'm just waiting for Izzy to come in, but we having some problems with the link, so I'm about to try to send it to him again. So how is everybody? Hopefully everybody is all good. If you guys can hear me, give me a thumbs up. If you guys cannot hear me, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to everybody that's in the room already. We got Carla in the building. What's good with it, Carla? Hold on real quick. I'm going to try to send this to him again real quick. Let me see. All right, so I just shot him that link. It should take him inside. I don't know what's going on. So we got some topics that we're going to be chopping it up about. Shout out to D-Buck over on Twitch. What's good with it, bro? If y'all not subscribed on Twitch, make sure that you guys subscribe on Twitch. Shout out to my man, Lloyd Sky 9. What's good with it, bro? What's going on with it? Let me see. Let me see. I might have to put the intro back on. Because we're having tech difficulties. So hold on real quick, y'all. Let me see. Hold on. Give me a second.
We's on the track, on the track, on the track. We's on the tracks, on the tracks, on the tracks.
What's good, bro? Hold on, I'm gonna pull this down real quick.
What up? What up? What up?
All right, yeah, what's good? What's good? Yeah, we finally got that shit working.
Yep.
Yeah, so let me see. So we'll see who we got in here. All right, so we're gonna start it out again. So let me see. We got Carla in the building. Shout out to Carla. We got D-Buck over on Twitch. Shout out to D-Buck over there. We got Lloyd Sky 9. We got Brooklyn Queen in the building. So shout out to everybody. We got 8 people in the house. Make sure y'all smash that like button. Make sure y'all hit the bell. Share the stream where y'all are watching from. So what's good with it, bro? Technical difficulties and shit, but we here.
Yeah, that's real. I'm just chilling, just trying to do this shit, man. You know, trying to make sure we fucking get this show under. You know, but lately it's been your fault though, fool. So this is on you,
nigga. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. See, this is what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Look.
The internet is forever.
From a narcissist, nigga. Okay, so
the internet is forever.
What's up with it? What's up with it?
Let's
start this show. What's up to everybody in the room? You know what I mean? Let's get this show started, man. Let's get on.
So this is one of the things that we was gonna talk about a while ago on one of the older shows. I know you want to go in on this.
Okay, so this is the PragerU shit, right? Okay, so kind of give everybody the idea real quick, and we'll just go into it real quick.
All right, well, the PragerU stuff, Ron DeSantis is trying to substitute that in the Florida schools as a substitute for actual real Black history that people are calling critical race theory, despite the fact that it's not theoretical and it has nothing to do with critical race theory. So why don't you go into your opinions about it, and then I got a couple articles about it. We'll bust out the articles, break it down, and then hit the next shit because we got a bunch of shit. We got a bunch.
Okay,
how much time you got?
I got plenty, man. I got as much time as I need, dude.
All right, bet we got it.
You know what I mean? So this whole situation, first off, let me put this out there very, very, very clearly. Okay, if PragerU was an accredited school with real, teachers and real, teaching, I probably wouldn't have as much of a problem with it. That's number one. Number two, if PragerU was not a religious group, I would have a problem with it because religion is supposed to be separate from schools. So church and state, religion and schooling are supposed to be separate regardless on anything. Number three, not only is this a religious, institution, not only is it not accredited, but it is a right-leaning type of place. Now,
it's like a think tank.
Yeah, it's a think tank for right-wing individuals. Now, I have a problem with that too because, again, even if it was liberal, I'd have a problem with it. Even if it agreed with everything that I agree with, I would have a problem with it. And the reason why is because, again, you're not supposed to put political anything and political leanings in school.
Yeah,
period. Okay, because these are extreme ideologies, and you're not supposed to be influencing kids with extreme ideologies, no matter if it's right, left, or in between. It doesn't fucking matter. Okay, so I want to make those three things very, very clear. Number two, if the history was correct, I'd still have a problem with it, but the history is absolutely wrong. Okay. And because of their extreme views, their extreme right-wing views, and because of the black folks who sambo and protect this shit, there's another problem. Because they're not telling the correct history, and they're implying that all black folks should be happy and were happy back in the days. This is bullshit. Okay, this is not true history. It's not proper, and it's not what we should be teaching the kids at all in any way, shape, or form. The last problem I have with this, and they have already given permission to have them in the schools. So if you're in Florida, your child's school, elementary school, can be using this as teaching devices. My last thing is it believes in creationism. Okay. And there is intelligent design ideologies that they teach. Now, again, if you are a religious individual, you might want to mute this or leave for a few minutes, because I'm about to dig into your religion, especially if you are a part of any Abrahamic religion. I'm about to dig in your ass. So I'm giving you fair warning. The fact of the matter is this: intelligent design has absolutely zero proof behind anything. There's no reason to believe it. Intelligent design does not have science behind it. It is bullshit. It means absolutely nothing, and there is nothing to back it up. Not only that, but it has been shown to have literally no science behind it. Now, I don't give a shit if you believe it. I don't give a shit if you can't believe in evolution, because I'm not no monkey. I don't care what you fucking don't believe. Science has proof. It has evidence. Intelligent design does not, no matter what you say, nothing that you can say can back up a claim of intelligent design. None at all. Now, if you want to challenge that, here's what you're going to have to do. Show me that there is evidence of a God outside of the so-called creation of your God, meaning can't say the earth, the universe, the stars, the sun, the perfect diameter around the sun, and we're in the Goldilocks zone for a few months. None of that. None of that is proof. It is not proof. It is nothing more than a claim that you cannot substantiate. So show me evidence of a God based on the merit of God and God himself, and then we can talk. Until you can do that, do not tell me about intelligent design, and do not fucking give me your speech on, well, dude, how do you think it's here? Don't question me. Don't say everything's just so perfect. That shit ain't evidence. I don't care what you can wrap your mind around. If you don't understand science, that's your problem. If you don't understand evolution, natural selection, that is not my problem. That is your problem. Maybe you should have paid more attention in school. Okay? And I'm not your teacher, and you don't pay me to be your teacher, so I'm not going to sit here and be your teacher. Okay? Now, with all that being said, intelligent design is not correct. It is not correct by the standards of science. It is not correct with any evidence. It is not correct in any way. Now, even if you don't believe in evolution, why would you want your child to be taught something that has literally no evidence to back it up whatsoever? And if you want to tell me because that's what makes sense to me, or that's a part of my religion, or the Bible said so, or again, if you say it's the Bible says so, the Bible does not say so. Okay. But if you want to give me any of these examples, then you are purposely fooling yourself, and it is dumb as shit. Okay. It is just dumb. As a rational human being, You should want to know as many true things as possible. And if you do not want to know as many true things, which means fact-based, evidence substantiated, then you don't have no business listening to me or even Rob, but you can if you want to, but I'm going to still call you stupid. Because it doesn't matter if you like the truth. It doesn't matter if you don't like the facts, if you don't like the evidence. It doesn't matter if you don't like the fact that, motherfucker, you a monkey, but you're not. You're a fucking primate, okay? If you don't like these things, it doesn't matter. These things don't give two shits about your feelings. 1 + 1 = 2 does not fucking care about your feelings. So therefore, you're not being rational and you are not thinking about anybody else. The last problem I have is we should not be pushing religious doctrine on anyone. Again, we have the right to religion. Abrahamic religion does not and is not the end all be all of all religions. There's Hinduism out there. There's Islam, which is another Abrahamic belief system. There's Judaism. There's Buddhism. There is so many different, there's like 4,200 different religious belief systems. And for you to push the ideology that you push, your Christianity, your Abrahamic belief system onto other people is blatantly disrespectful. It is not legal and it shouldn't be going on. Period. None of you should be okay with teachers teaching your kids, even if this is your religion, teaching them this religion. The only people that should be teaching your kids religion, if you believe in that shit, is you and your church and your pastor, not school. Okay? Because there's too many different ideology points when it comes to the Christian belief system. That's why there are so many different subsets of that religion. So you shouldn't want that to be taught to your child. Okay? So if you guys don't get that, I'm sorry. We can go into it. If anybody has questions, let's get into it. That's fine.
Oh no, we'll get into a few of them, but then we can save some of them for other streams. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Kid Gravity. What's good with it, bro? Because you know that's how you do.
You already know that's what I do.
Keep them coming back.
That's what we do.
You know what I'm saying? So, all right, bro, I'm going to read this real quick. So it says, PragerU founder admits conservative material is indoctrination, which is a lot of what Izzy was just going into, is now allowed in Florida schools. All right, so this is an old article. It's from August 1st of 2023. Broward School District says it will not incorporate the vendor's content into the curriculum. The Florida Department of Education has approved a series of educational materials from a conservative group for use in classroom across the state. On its website and in its 2023 biannual report, PragerU, founded by conservative talk radio host Dennis Prager, showcases content framed through the lens of conservative pundits, conservative activists, and Republican National Committee members. The Florida Department of Education says it has reviewed PragerU Kids and determined that the material aligns to Florida's revised civics and government standards. PragerU Kids is no different than any other resource, which can be used as supplemental materials in Florida schools at district discretion. PragerU Kids did not submit a bid to be included in the 2022-23 instructional materials adoption for social studies. The list of adopted materials is available on the instructional materials page of the department's website. On its website, PragerU Kids defines itself as, quote unquote, teaching American values, adding woke agendas are infiltrating classroom, culture, and social media. So what do you think about that right there?
I think that I think people are taking advantage, and I think right-wing individuals are like actually stepping over a line. And I find it funny that the school system out there in Florida and any other state, because to be honest, this is not just happening. It actually passed in Florida. That was a testing ground. Now they're going to try it in Oklahoma, and they're going to try it in like 4 different other states. I think Arkansas. It's Texas, Oklahoma, and 2 other ones. I can't remember exactly what they are. Okay. I find it very odd that it's even being allowed, understanding, because what they're doing is they're framing PragerU as a right-wing group. The fact of the matter is, no, PragerU is a religious group with right-wing ideology. You understand that?
Go into that.
And that's a problem. It's religion. It is a religious group that has found its way into right-wing ideology and politics. That's what it is. And that's how a lot of people don't get this, because at first PragerU was strictly religion-based. But through the years, it found out it can get a very large following if it was religious and right-wing. And this is the biggest issue I have, because whether people want to admit it or not, if you're a right-wing individual, that's fine. And if you would rather have your kids being taught right-wing ways, that's fine too. I don't have a problem with neither one of those things. But if you're willing to accept bullshit based upon things that you don't know and based upon things that people are trying to sell you, that's where I have a problem. Because again, just like you said earlier, they're calling teaching today left-wing ideology. It's not left-wing liberal ideology. You're being taught what they know, period. When things get fixed and people start understanding new things, they fix those things, and that's what they teach. And it's because of the CRT ideal. And no matter what people tell these people, no matter how many, scholars keep on telling them, you are not explaining what CRT is. Right-wing individual keep on pushing the ideology of what they're trying to make it out to be.
Right. Did you see that one? Shout out to Torian. What's good with it, bro? Did you see that that video clip that went viral of that? What's that lady's name? Bethany Mandel or something like that. She's from one of those right-wing think tanks, and she was on the Hill, and Brianna Joy Gray asked her to define woke, and this chick, she literally couldn't define what woke was, and she like wrote a book about it and everything, but she wasn't able to define what it was though. Like,
right. And I did see that little thing. If you want to play it, you should play it, actually.
I ain't even got it pulled up.
But it's not even that, like they've kind of learned how to talk. Woke is one thing, CRT is another. Okay. So woke is, to them, it's little liberal ideology, right? But they also understand that woke came from black folks. So it doesn't matter if it's liberal ideology, that's woke. But if it's also things like justice for black folks, that is automatically wrapped into woke.
Right.
Okay. Now, when it's talking about history and trying to give white people white guilt, that is immediately CRT. Talking bad about white folks and the things that they've done throughout history all the way up till today, that is CRT. You understand? So what they do is they try to separate it, but they will intermingle the words. And if you hear those two words, you just need to know what they say. So if you hear the word CRT, oh, that's not nothing except fucking, people calling us racist and we have to accept it. It's giving me white guilt. Why should I have white guilt? I didn't do it, right? So that's the idea right across in their head. So a lot of white people just automatically agree with that. It's like natural for them to agree. Yeah, I didn't do it. Why should I worry about it? CRT is bad. Liberal ideology means left-leaning, socialists and ideas like, and all of these things are conflated too. So like, if I say there is racism, right, and the police are racist, their reply is, oh, you're part of that woke shit. Okay, because it doesn't fall under history unless we bring up history. Then they say, oh, that's nothing but CRT, woke history, and present woke talk. Okay, when the evidence is literally right in front of them.
Right. There's nothing theoretical about it.
There's nothing theoretical. It is literally history, right? So it's like they'll mix them up if they have to, but this woke talk is things that they don't want to agree with, things that they don't want to have to accept responsibility with. They don't, like, because they are starting to understand that the excuse of, well, I didn't do it. My parents didn't have no slaves. I don't have no slaves. They do understand the fact that that's not what the fuck we mean. And that doesn't alleviate you from what you've done and your family has done and the history of white people have done in this country. They know
what they benefit from. Like there's the benefits from it. Like it don't matter if you didn't, like, you know what I'm saying? Like it don't matter if you didn't do anything, you still benefit from it, and that's doing something.
Right. And the thing is they try to use the woke word as their defense, where they no longer have to listen to you when they say, well, that was in the past. Why? What? And then you say, well, the fact of the matter is that you benefit from it. How? I don't benefit from it, right? Real quick. It's kind of like back when they were having a talk about what's white privilege. And a lot of white people did not want to admit the fact that they had white privilege. They was like, I don't have white privilege. I had to work hard. And you know how many different shows that I had way back in the day? And I was explaining to white people, I said, dude, white privilege has absolutely nothing to do with how hard or how not hard you work.
And there's a definition of actual working hard, and then there's their definition of working hard, which means like their definition of working hard is how many trust papers and check signings did they have to do to get the money that was handed down to them from past generations, or not the money, because there's more than just monetary value in all of that stuff.
Right. Well, it's not about monetary value either, though. It's really about the things that you automatically get, not for nothing else but being white. Things like this. You're not going to have if you're white, you're more than likely not going to have a physical encounter with the police officer. That's number one. If you are white, you are more than likely going to talk to the police officer, give them your stuff, and then you're going to get a ticket and you're going to drive off.
It's also more than likely, if you're white, that you're going to delete a police officer violently.
Absolutely. We all know that, but they don't accept it. Okay, now, what else is that is a privilege. They don't see it as a privilege because they don't want to. They understand the police are there to keep them safe against the big bad black people. They get it. They know it. They just don't want to admit it. It's white privilege means you can walk in a bank and I can walk in a bank. Now, you can walk in a bank and call me nigger, 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 and still get a bank loan for your business or for your home. If I go into your bank, I don't even have to call you a honky fucking pink toe or anything else. I don't have to fucking say you're from the Mayo militia or anything else. I can go in there, sir, please, sir, let me get this, sir. Look at my credit score, sir. I can show you my payment, sir. And guess what? We will still get denied, or we will get a lower loan with a higher interest rate every single time. Okay? That's white privilege. You know what another form of white privilege is? Having a home, buying a home. When black folks buy a home, it's usually between $50,000 to $150,000 more than a white person buying that same home in the same neighborhood, right next to it, in the same designed home, and their home is going to be $50,000 to $150,000 cheaper. Not only that,
how many cases of that happening?
Oh, it's all the time. It still happens.
Yeah, like that's what I was about to say. Like, how many cases of that went down in what is that, San Francisco and San Diego? Mm-hmm. Like, all you got to do is just look at the LA Times. Like, that stuff happens all the time. And it happens a lot in Florida too.
Right. This is a form of white privilege, right? The next and last example I'm going to give you of white privilege is this. when you go try to get a price, like how much your home is worth, or you try to sell it, right? You're usually being in these exact same neighborhoods with the exact same model house, with the exact same everything, backyard, front yard, fucking green grass and all that other shit. Everything is the same. The only difference is the owner of the home. Black people are going to get their price that they're going to get, or the price that they're going to sell it or be able to sell it for. The value of the house is going to be between $50,000 and $100,000 less than the white person right next door. Okay, there has been proof of this, hands down, across the board. Do not tell me shit.
You remember did you see that episode of Valuetainment when Roland Martin was proving that to Patrick Bet-Davis, and Patrick Bet-Davis was so triggered that he wouldn't use the projector screen to put the information that Roland Martin had up on the screen?
Yeah, I saw that, but I don't like Roland Martin is nothing more than a fucking, I don't care what the fuck he presents to anybody, because he has an agenda.
Oh, facts. No, I agree.
Right.
I'm just using that as an example.
No, and
you
you're
know what
right.
I'm saying? Yeah.
You're right. And it doesn't matter.
I'm not a Roland Martin fan.
Right. And the thing is it doesn't matter, because the fact of the matter is it doesn't matter if you can show this.
Right.
They showed it just recently with some black folks. They originally wanted to get the value of their home, and they first did it with having their white friends pose as the owners of the home. Okay, and that's who they did first. They did it with 3 different companies, and then they got the value of the house with them, the real owners of the home. Every single fucking value for the black folks, when it was the black folks, was between $75,000 to $150,000 less than when it was with their white friends that stood in for them.
Yeah, okay. Wasn't there a situation where there was a couple, it was a white guy and a black woman, and the black woman showed the house to the appraiser, and the house was valued lower, and so then they turned over all of the black relatives, the pictures that they had in the house, and it was either a white husband or a white friend, and the white friend presented the house to the real estate agent, and they gave them a higher value, a higher resale value.
Yeah,
I think it was in Florida or something like that.
Well, no, I don't know. They had that one. I know one was in California, and one was in some state from the south down to Midwest to the east, somewhere over there.
I mean, there's
Midwest,
so many.
South.
This ain't something that's like rare. Like, there's so many cases of it. All you got to do is just look.
Yeah.
Okay. DJ almost said it was the white husband. Yeah.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure it was in Florida. But go ahead. My bad.
And they have this. This is called whether people want to admit it or not. This is literally white privilege, because you don't even realize that this is what you're getting until it's exposed.
They know they're getting this shit.
Yeah, they do. I'm just saying. I'm wording this in the sense of benefit of the doubt of you don't understand it. Okay. And I know they do. And we should. And the fact of the matter is, I shouldn't even be giving them that much grace. You know what I mean? Because of the fact that they do know. They do understand. They see it. It's on CBS. It's on fucking all the news stations.
Somebody's got to be the good cop.
Right. And so the fact of the matter is that I'm not even going to be the good cop. I'm trying to get through this. So the fact of the matter is, there is a difference. There is a difference of how you are treated, how you are, they even go so far as to, when black folks want to buy a home and they go to these real estate agents, the real estate agents are told to try to get them to go to the black areas. They don't want them. They try to, when they say, well, I saw some in your place that was this house, and this is the one that I want to look at. Yeah, I know, but let's look at these first. Or they will act like, oh, well, this isn't, well, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. It's not going to be ready for this much time, and boo boo. And they do that kind of shit to keep black folks out of certain neighborhoods, period. Last point, I said that was the last point, but the really last point is this. They still have homeowners associations that still have rules,
racial covenants.
yeah, racial covenants that they say are illegal and cannot be broke. And even if they took it to the Supreme Court, they would never win. And they say no black folks are allowed. Okay, this is called white privilege. Period. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you have money, if you don't have money, if you worked hard, didn't work hard. That is not what fucking white privilege is. It's about what you automatically get and what you gain from being white. All right,
and what society has been manipulated into backing you up on and believing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now here it says, in a video posted to the Moms for Liberty YouTube channel from the group's July Joyful Warriors National Summit conference in Philadelphia, Prager shared with the group a conversation he said he had with demonstrators on his way to the event. I really wanted to hear, what evidence do you have that I am despicable? And all I heard was, well, you indoctrinate kids, which is true.
Yeah, he admitted it.
We bring doctrines to children. That's a very fair statement. But I said, what is the bad of our indoctrination? In 2022, Governor Ron DeSantis announced a new release that he signed House Bill HB 7 to give businesses, employees, children, and family tools to stand up against the discrimination and woke indoctrination. So this is discrimination.
Mm-hmm.
The Florida Department of Education did not address if PragerU's unabashed right-leaning content runs afoul of Florida's law against indoctrination. In its 2023 biannual report, PragerU features content it says it has developed for 6th grade and up, which includes left versus right. Host CJ Pearson shines a light on the differences between conservatives and left-wing thinking, from the role of government to doing good versus feeling good.
Mm-hmm.
According to his LinkedIn profile, Pearson, who dropped out of college to join PragerU in 2022, is the Republican National Committee's Youth Advisory Council Gen X National Co-Chair. There is also Myth Mash, which the group says smashes the anti-American leftist lies infecting the classroom and inoculates with young minds with truthful history told in PragerU's uniquely colorful, entertaining style, which I find it funny because actually what they do is take a lot of the color out of things. But anyway, in a statement, a spokesperson for Broward County Public Schools said the district has no current plans to incorporate this current curriculum in the upcoming school year. A spokesperson for Miami-Dade County Public Schools tells Local 10 News that PragerU was approved as a vendor for supplemental materials and resources, but it's unknown whether there are plans to adopt PragerU's content into the upcoming school year, or whether there will be a process by which parents can exercise their parental rights to education to have their children opt out of the vendor's content.
Yeah, the fact of the matter is this: they don't need to tell anybody. They can use it on teaching points. They don't have to have it implemented into the school. They've already okayed that it can be used. You see? So if a teacher is a right-wing leaning teacher and she is teaching this history, right? Especially going with this idea of what CRT is, which is basically erasing Black history, right? What they can do is then, because of the CRT law that they have out there, they can show that video and use it as an example. You understand? They don't even have to test on it.
Right.
They can use it as an example, and they can literally, teach a wrong history no matter what. And that's the problem. You don't need a curriculum around what they teach. All you need to do is show it.
Right.
That's the problem. Keep on going.
Yeah, no, I agree. So now this is an article from The Hill. It says, what is PragerU? The conservative education platform now in Florida schools. So if you guys know what PragerU is, and Izzy, you already did a good job explaining it, make sure y'all just let us know in the comment section. The Florida Department of Education is raising alarm with its recent... Now, let me ask you guys this real quick before I actually even get into this. Do you all think that stuff like this is what encouraged the Dollar General massacre. You muted, bro.
Oh, I thought you were asking them.
No, I'm asking everybody. I'm asking
Okay,
you
do
too.
I think-
Do you
do
think
I-
that this kind of rhetoric, this kind of climate, this kind of situation going on in Florida, where this is the thing that's going on, do you think that contributed to the emboldening of that individual to go hunt down and shoot up a bunch of black people at that Dollar General?
No, I think that it's a whole lot of different things, because that kid had already had this ideology. People do not all of a sudden have these ideals.
I agree. How do you think that he had him? Where do you think that he got it from?
Clearly, he got it from his parents, friends, people that he grew up with. I don't give a shit what nobody says.
Yeah.
The people around him, somebody around him, I don't really give two shits where he got it. That doesn't, I don't care. But did this kind of information embolden him? It could have. I think there's a lot more, because what they're doing is they're trying to erase shit. The people that go around trying to kill black folks, they're way past trying to erase history.
Yeah, they're trying to erase people.
They're trying to erase people. They are trying to have a literal genocide. So, yeah, I think it's a little different, but I can understand if people think that had something to do with it.
No, I get it. So now here says the Florida Department of Education is raising alarm with its recent approval of the conservative education platform PragerU, which touts itself as an alternative to progressive quote-unquote indoctrination for use in classrooms this school year. The supplemental curriculum means for educators, if they choose to show PragerU materials in the class without fear of repercussions, with video titles ranging from "Was the Civil War about slavery?" to "The Inconvenient Truth About the Democratic Party." So let's address actually both of those. So the question for you and everybody in the comment section is, was the Civil War about slavery? Now, what do you think PragerU says versus
they're going to say PragerU is clearly going to say that it was about freeing slaves. That's what they're going to say. You know what I mean? But it wasn't. Absolutely wasn't. And anybody who thinks it was, you're stupid.
There's a lot of people that say that,
yeah,
with their chest out, like it's a legitimate talking point.
Absolutely. They do say that. And they try to use Abraham Lincoln as, well, Abraham Lincoln, he freed the dude. Are you fucking kidding me, dude?
You mean to tell me that Abraham Lincoln wasn't an abolitionist who was like all about black people and white people being equal? No,
absolutely not. He said it himself. He even said it. He had no fucking intention at all at any time to let black folks have a real life, a part of society. He said it himself.
That's not what I learned in my PragerU indoctrination class, is he?
Well, I don't give a shit. He said it himself, and his words mean more than PragerU's.
His words, you trying to tell me his words mean more than PragerU's?
Absolutely. Abraham's own words mean more than what PragerU says. I don't care.
You know who else lied about Abraham Lincoln? Ron DeSantis.
Yeah, he did. He lied about fucking George Washington too.
Yeah, like literally just flat out lied. And Kayleigh McKinney on Fox News lied about the Declaration of Independence, said that it was for all people.
No, it's not. Period. I don't care what they say. They're lying.
Right.
They can lie to themselves all they want. You know what I mean? I don't care what the fuck they say. And this is the problem. They are allowed to just ignore the truth.
Do you think that that's part of privilege? Is that part of white privilege?
That is definitely part of privilege. Not only is the ability to ignore it and be okay and nobody checking you, especially other white people checking you, no historians checking you, nobody checking you at all. That is a form of privilege. Then the ability to erase the history and not have to tell the truth about the history is even more privilege.
So with all this crying about the wokeness and all of this is just them leaning into the privilege. Like this is just literally them validating the privilege.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shout out to Jesse and shout out to Hurricane IQ. What's good with y'all? Yeah, I mean, I agree.
the fact of the matter is this: the people today, right? They can't stand on these things as hard like the white people today. When you talk to them, they can't stand on what they're saying when they're talking to people who know what the fuck they're talking about.
Oh yeah,
Okay?
facts. Even the Sambos and the Coons, they can't neither.
Right.
There was
They
just a
can't either.
podcast
Nobody
with
can.
there was just a podcast with Larry Elder. He got destroyed on this podcast. You know what I'm saying? And he simply just wouldn't answer questions.
Right, exactly. And that's what they do, right? But the reason why they want to erase it and change it and call it certain names and demonize it is because the next generation of kids that come up, first off, the young black kids will not know it. Then the minority kids, they won't know it, nor will they care. They don't care right now, but they really won't care then.
Right.
Then when it comes out, when you have your very few kids that are being taught by the parents no true history, the kids that don't know it, they'll be able to stand on, no, that's bullshit. Nobody ever taught us that. What the fuck are you talking about? The KKK was just a Christian group.
Right.
They will be able to stand on that, and they will not feel that they have anything to justify because this is what was taught in school.
Right. And that's how they'll try to illegitimately legitimize it by saying, well, this was taught in an academic institution, so it's facts. And all you're doing was we was slaves nonsense. See,
right. And they will be able to say, if it was truth, they clearly would have taught that.
Which is what they do now.
Right. But they can't say, oh, well, if it was true, they would have taught that because they did teach a lot of this, not all of it, but they taught a lot of it. They just changed a few things, like the reason why the Civil War was fought. How Abe Lincoln, they wanted to, speak on and talk about how Abraham Lincoln was this great person. He wasn't. He was a piece of shit. I don't care what nobody says.
You mean to tell me he wasn't a hero?
Lincoln was a piece of shit. Lincoln did nothing but want to use and take advantage of African people and black folks that was enslaved. Period. Nothing more about it. He wanted to be president. He needed the votes. Period. Nothing more, nothing less. You tell me anything else, I will kick you in your ass.
Facts. And shout out to Carlton. Carlton says, facts, Izzy. The next generation of black folks will be like, what is white supremacy? And that goes back to that Neely Fuller Jr. video that
you already know.
The what is that? The maximum sophisticated confusion.
Exactly. Maximum sophisticated confusion. And again, you need to pay attention to this kind of thing. This is why I showed that video every single night, or at least fucking every single time that I fucking did my show. I played something from Nelly Fuller Jr.'s, but usually I showed that for a reason. You see what I'm saying? I showed it every single show for a reason.
Yep.
Because it was true.
Yep. And you can see it going on right now. And then what Neely Fuller Jr. said in that video about how in the future it'll be computerized. We see that going down right now, like with the smart cities, shot spotter, and all the artificial intelligence. Like, people really need to like wake up and start dealing with this stuff head on. And
what's so funny is this. Being that the AI is mostly controlled and created by whites or white adjacent individuals with the same mindset and the same ideology as them, because they have accepted, acquiesced, and they understand the game, and they understand that they can be chosen as a model minority in this country. Their ideals, thoughts, and the way they think is literally being added into these AIs, whether they realize it or whether they don't. So, and what I mean by that is this. Even if you have this liberal who created AI and he thinks he is so not racist, okay? Guess what? His racism will absolutely come out in that AI. Period. Period. No ifs, no ands, no buts. Because it is literally built in. The way he thinks is the way the AI originally comes up to think. And that influences how it thinks in the future and how it creates that his intelligence.
Every little bit of coding has an impression of that flawed worldview in it. So
Exactly.
like there's no escaping it.
Yeah. So people don't get that. It's the same thing when you talk about the camera systems and how they work, right? The way the cars that can drive by itself, they can't see. That's why black folks got hit all the time by these self-automated cars.
Yeah, like they literally programmed "we don't see color" into the damn AI.
Right. So people don't get this shit. But these are different forms of racism that are literally affecting you on a day-to-day basis, whether you want to admit it or not. And it will show itself, and it will show itself even more and more and more and more. And again, when you start off on a base of how you think, again, this is how crazy indoctrination is. If you have a base and an ideology starting off, even with AI, the rest of his ideals and the way that AI thinks and the way that the AI comes to whatever logical point it comes to, it will be flawed because it is going to start off with that base. Period.
Yeah, that's facts. That's facts. Real quick, y'all, if y'all haven't smashed that like button, make sure y'all smash the like button and please help us out. Make sure that you guys take a moment, share the stream to your social media, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure that you guys subscribe. Yeah, I agree. Carla said, look at this. Carla said, and they tried to cast a white man to play Michael Jackson.
Mhm.
And because in the end, Mike had lost his pigment, in the future, people would think that he was white.
Exactly. They even tried to fucking show a picture of Tupac white.
Right.
Look, I even heard there was somebody who tried to say that white people are the people who truly invented hip hop. Like literally. So it's like, dude, the whitewashing of the things that we created literally is, and it's so crazy too, because here's the thing. Like, you know how many times I've heard, the music influences our culture and it's the music, right? And they act like that's on us. But the fact of the matter is nobody actually realizes that it's not us that's choosing what comes out. It's the owners.
And they know that.
Yeah, but they don't admit it.
Is that part of white privilege where you know that something is going on that somebody else is doing, but you can just
just ignore it and blame it on you, on these other people? Yes. That's another form of white privilege. The ideology, the way you think, the way you act, the way you fucking try to form your arguments. All of these things are forms of white privilege because they are accepted by other white folks.
Facts. I'm just looking at, shout out to Torian on this tweet because he tweeted about this Ethan Liming shit that went down. It just went down in Akron, like literally like right up the street from where I work at. And it's just amazing how the mainstream media is spinning the story. It's even amazing how they wrote the title of the article. Like this shit is just.
What's the title?
Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Somebody, I think it was actually Torian who actually put it in the Discord. Let's finish this and then we get that. All right, so here it says critics contend. You know what? Hold on real quick. Give me 1 second. Hold on, because I want to actually make sure that I bookmark this so that I can show it on here.
How many people are in the room right
now? We got 20 people in the room. Make sure y'all smash the like button and hit the bell.
Yeah, and make sure you can share this out to everybody so we can get as many people as we can in here so we can start building this whole thing up. Go ahead.
Yeah, no doubt. Shout out to Torian. Torian said he's going to speak on it later at length on the live stream later today. Yeah, I'll be in there. I'll be checking it out for sure. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because, man, I'm I'm not even going there. So now here it says critics contend PragerU has prompted videos with misinformation and is too biased for public schools, escalating the controversy regarding changes to Florida's education system under Governor Ron DeSantis. Here's what to know about PragerU and the fallout in Florida. What is PragerU? PragerU is a conservative platform that was founded by conservative talk show host Dennis Prager and Alan Estrin in 2009. Now, what I find interesting about this whole thing is like there's literally no academic anything involved in production of any of these materials.
None.
And yet they're just willing to throw this in schools and throw out like actual verified and accredited academic learning materials.
Well, what it is for Florida, what it is this. Because they already passed a lot of their CRT bills, which basically said you can't talk about this. You can't say this. This PragerU shit actually aligns with it 100%. You understand? And so that's why it's easy to understand why Florida would do something like this. Okay? Now, this is the problem, though, and you're right. And that's my actually one of the biggest issues I have with this whole thing. It is not accredited by any kind of American history teachers. It is not accredited by university, by people that have studied, wrote, have seen, have, because we have written history throughout all this early in America time.
Right.
So there is literally no way that you can deny any of this stuff. But yet they are able to do it
without any consequence.
Huh?
Without any consequence.
Yeah, without consequences. Not only that, but I find it very weird that they can do this and nobody has sued. Nobody has taken it to the government. Nobody has done any of these things because these things should be overturned.
And that's why, do you think that that's why these people do this kind of stuff? Because they know that there's not going to be any kind of legal consequences. Nobody's gonna challenge it. Like the fact, and that's bad too. The fact that people don't challenge this stuff, it doesn't make it legitimate, but it gives rise to the question. Well, I mean, if nobody's challenging it, then you know what I'm saying,
right?
It creates that perception, and that's extremely not only dangerous, but it's real,
right? But the thing is the reason why is the black folks who know this shit is wrong and disagree with it don't have the fucking money for it. And the black folks that fucking know this shit and the black folks who do have the money, they believe in this shit because they want to acquiesce. It is easier to acquiesce than it is to challenge, period.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So now here it says, on its site, it touts itself as a nonprofit focused on a free alternative to the dominant left-wing ideology in culture, media, and education. The platform gained popularity from short videos on topics ranging from a host of political issues. Some of the platform's most popular 5-minute videos include Islam is a religion of peace and Make Men Masculine Again. PragerU says its videos have garnered 7 billion views and that 70% of viewers change their mind on at least one topic after watching their videos. But now here's the thing. That doesn't have anything to do with whether the information presented in the videos was accurate or not.
No, because what it is, these kind of arguments and these things that PragerU is pushing, it is all based upon wording and emotional, how it emotionally resonates with you, right? So it's a lot easier to present something that is absolutely fact, that you can align with and you can emotionally understand, than something that is true. And the best argument I can show you is if you don't believe in evolution, which I know a lot of black folks do not believe in evolution.
Well,
okay?
let's find out what we got what it's looking like in here. If you believe in evolution, give us a thumbs up. If you guys do not believe in evolution, give me a thumbs down. All right, go ahead, bro.
Okay. One of the number one reasons that I've heard from black folk across the board is I ain't no monkey and I ain't come from no monkey. Okay?
That actually comes from that comes from listening and believing racist tropes that white people say too much. Like
Yeah,
having
but
having the monkey
again,
attitude thing.
okay, so
Yeah.
what is that? He said he don't believe Hurricane don't believe in evolution, or does he believe in it?
I think he believes in it. I think the thumbs up was believe in it.
Oh, okay. I think he did. Okay. And so the fact of the matter is this. A lot of black folks say that shit, but that's not evolution. Right? And the thing is we have primate cousins, right?
Yeah, I think I read somewhere that a chimpanzee is like 99.9% genetically the
90,
same.
it's like 98.
98, yeah, very, very genetically similar to a human. But like
Right.
the small amount of DNA, the small amount of genetic difference causes clearly like a large amount of visual
Change.
difference.
Yeah, and the
Yeah,
thing
you know what
is
I'm
people
saying?
don't understand how such a little bit of a difference does make such a major change.
I mean, like if they understood like small numbers like logarithms and you know what I'm saying, like square roots and stuff like that, then like that would make sense. Like how tiny little numbers can. And shout out to Elijah Trent. Elijah Trent said 98. Those small changes can make huge
major differences.
Major
And
differences, yeah.
and the problem is again, these are our cousins. Again, we are locked into this category of primate because we match the description of primates. It doesn't mean that we are fucking monkeys. It doesn't mean we even came from monkeys.
Carl just said that. Carl just said that 2% difference is a mother.
Yeah, it is. A lot of motherfuckers don't get that shit. It is a mother. You know what I mean? And so the thing is it's like people don't get this stuff. But the thing is you're not taught about evolution and the deepness of evolution and to really understand unless you go to a university and study it.
Right.
Right? You won't learn all the little details. This idea that they used to show us, you know, when they had the little chimpanzee and the chimpanzee turned into a man, that whole thing, that is stuck in a lot of people's heads, but that is not evolution.
Right. That's like a little abbreviated character type thing.
Right. Then the next thing that people try to use an excuse that I don't believe in it because Darwin was a racist and I don't believe what white man says. Okay, fuck you. You are dumb too. Just because Darwin was a racist doesn't fucking mean Darwin was wrong. Okay, again, Darwin wasn't 100% correct, but Darwin also didn't give you the whole idea. Darwin gave you the idea and the concept of evolution. Just because somebody is a fucking racist doesn't mean he's fucking wrong, you fucking idiots. It just means that motherfucker got something. He got this ideal right, and he was a racist. Okay, good job. You understand? That's it. What we have today is not classical Darwinism evolution. We are not talking about that classical shit. We are talking about modern day evolution and everything that we know behind it. We have evidence. We have plenty of evidence. Then the next argument, and this is the last one I'm going to go into because these are the three highest arguments that I hear, especially from black folks, is this. Well, it's just a theory. Okay, you dumb motherfuckers. And I want people to get this. Please, black folks, stop making this as a fucking goddamn excuse or stop saying this as your argument. Stop saying a theory is just this idea. It doesn't mean it's fact. Motherfucker, we're not talking about theory in the way that you use the motherfucking word because you're a fucking layman. Okay? You're fucking uneducated layman ass, not understanding fucking this part of fucking, understanding history and things of that nature. Just because you don't know fucking this shit, just because you are a layman does not mean you understand theory. Theory is the closest thing that can come to fact in science, meaning if they get to a point of calling something a theory, scientific theory means we've gone through the scientific method. We have been able to recreate, show this with all this evidence that we are 98, 97, 99% sure this is what happened. Based upon the evidence that we have. That is because you'll never be able to say evolution 100. Even if we found every single fucking, from our distant ancestor all the way to now, they're still not going to say it is absolute fact. They will say that it is a theory, but that is the closest thing to a fact because that's science being honest. You know why they will never say it's absolute fact? Because let's say they go back and they see all of these changes and they get all the skulls. Now, I don't think this is true. I don't know if it even has validity, but they keep that 99. They keep it open for this fact. Let's say way back, they find the very first common ancestor and where it all started. And then they find there is some manipulation in the fucking DNA from the first to the second. And they can show that it was actually fucked with by something. Going back to the ancient astronaut theory. Okay? Where they said they were manipulated. These things are, and a lot of different histories and ideologies and things of that nature say that we were created by the gods. And let's say the gods were somebody from another planet. But they found the evidence for that. That's why it's never an absolute fact, because they can always change it because they have the evidence for it now.
You mean the movie Prometheus isn't evidence that happened?
No, absolutely not.
Oh.
No, absolutely not. So they always leave it open because they cannot absolutely say everything is 100% because we don't have all the evidence and we can't have all the evidence. They have to leave it open if they are going to be intellectually honest, and because there could be evidence that we have not found yet. It could change. So you have to understand that's the best thing about science. Science does not say everything's a fact because things can change. We can find new evidence and it can correct itself. But it's about having evidence to back up the claim. So as of now, evolution is basically a fucking fact, but we can't call it a fact because we're not being intellectually dishonest. That's what it is. So stop saying a theory is just this idea. No, theory is the closest. A scientific theory is the closest thing that you can say without saying it's an absolute fact. Stop saying that shit. Stop thinking in your layman mindset because that's not what it is. When they say, what is it? Gravity is just a theory. No, it's not. It's the same thing. It's the same concept. Oh, the earth is flat. No, it's not, you fucking idiot. Oh, stop. Look, we have evidences. That's why it's called a theory. That's why. It's a scientific theory.
Man, there's people that dedicate their entire life to trying to prove that the earth is flat.
Yeah, and they try to prove, all these other dumbass things. And look, don't get me wrong. Somebody might be right, but you have to understand you need the evidence, the science that backs it up. And you know what? I don't listen to anybody that says the fucking earth is flat unless you can show me all new science that all meshes. That's the biggest problem with scientific, these guys that say that kind of stupid shit. If you don't have the evidence and it changes, a flat earth will have a completely different scientific model, completely different than a spherical. So you can't just say, well, gravity isn't really gravity, it's fucking density and blah, 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 blah. Shut up. That you're trying to use the same science for a whole different thing. And that's not how it works. You must have a whole different science and you must show that science to be streamlined across the way. Stop thinking you can use the same science and change it up a little bit and then that proves your point. You're dumb. That's why nobody fucking listens to you. Only idiots.
Yeah, I agree. We gotta, I can't wait till we get into some deeper shows and we start going into that stuff in great detail. You know what I'm saying? So now, so now here it says in 2021, PragerU launched PragerU Kids and started creating lesson plans for educators to use. The lessons cover a variety of topics such as history, financial knowledge, and political issues. PragerU celebrated last month that educators in Florida are now allowed to use their content in schools. The state of Florida just announced that we are becoming an official vendor. CEO Marissa Street said, "This means if you are a teacher in Florida, you cannot be fired for using PragerU content." Now that's interesting, right?
That's
You can
what I
be
just
fired.
said.
You can be fired for teaching actual Black history,
Right.
but you get protection from teaching PragerU indoctrination.
Right. That is not accredited. That cannot be backed up with any kind of fucking accuracy. That cannot be backed up by any evidence at all whatsoever. How fucked is our school system, bro? Especially in Florida. If you live in Florida, I feel so bad for you. Really, I do.
And it's just gonna get worse down there.
It's going to get worse everywhere.
Yeah. Yep. Big facts. So now here it says, Street said in the announcement video, other states are also signing up for their content, although no additional states have yet been announced. None of PragerU's materials are considered required content. The Florida Department of Education reviewed PragerU Kids and determined the materials to align with Florida's revised civics and government standards. PragerU is no different than many other resources which can be used as supplemental materials in Florida schools at district discretion, a spokesperson for the agency said. For the average educator, the development is unlikely to change much. I think its approval by the state, certainly opens the door and maybe puts it on a few more people's radar, but I think it's possibly at the end of the day something that's not going to show up a whole lot in the average class, said Chris Curran, director of Education Policy Research Center at the University of Florida. So now there was pushback from critics. All right. The approval spurred backlash from critics who say PragerU has pushed misinformation and shows the direction Florida education is going. I think broadly, the videos on the content have been criticized by some for their portrayal of things like race, explanations of differences of poverty levels by race, or the history of racism and slavery in the country. I've also seen criticisms around these issues like climate change, Curran said. One of the PragerU lessons challenges climate change and the effects of fossil fuel. Kids are told to fight climate change, but are rarely taught about the human cost of reducing emissions. What? The animated video teaches middle and high school students about energy and the environment through the eyes of young Ania living in Poland, who must face a devastating winter after the Polish government bans the use of coal. The video description reads like it's so the way that these people attempt to try to tie 2 points together is bizarre.
It is bizarre, bro. It's like because their points, some of the points that they make, I think when it comes to the climate change shit, there are a few good points, but the points aren't significant enough to change the fact of fucking climate change.
Here goes my thing. It's the same. This is literally the same kind of argument as there was a race massacre in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Florida has a history of race massacre.
Absolutely.
However, what about black on black crime? There's literally that exact same argument. Right. Kids are told to fight climate change, but are rarely taught about the cost of reducing human emissions. What in the hell do those have to do with each other?
Right. The thing is because they say, well, because you haven't taught people about how to lower human emissions, well, what's the point? Because you're still going to have it and blah, 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 blah. They try to use things like how much the things cost or, they try to use like, okay, when these things break down, it just turns into trash. And that is in itself a problem that these people don't understand. They haven't fixed. They don't explain it, blah, 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 right? It costs so much money to make a solar panel. And, they break so easy and fucking they use up more electricity than they fucking make and blah, 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 blah. You see, these are dumb arguments. because they're half of them are not true, and then the other half just don't equate to anything. Doesn't matter.
A lot of them are not even related.
No, they're not.
We're talking about climate change.
Right.
Climate change is going to happen whether there's human intervention or not. Human intervention can accelerate climate change.
Absolutely.
Cost of emissions, that is a budgeting issue.
Absolutely.
As well as a chemistry issue.
And it has to do with the things that we use.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And how we use them. Okay, cool. We understand these things now. And they are teaching about how emissions help. But a lot of people cannot change that. Most of the emissions that we are talking about are coming from major companies and things of that matter.
This is literally the dumb, like,
yeah.
This is the idiotic, like, conservative logic. This is how you can tell that these are low-hanging fruit people. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is how dumb these people are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like this is literally that argument. Like, okay, well, what are we gonna do about the rising cost of gas? Well, have you looked at how much a plane ticket costs lately? Like, that's the response. Like, what the fuck does that have to do with what I was just
talking gas, about? Motherfucker, and the cost of gas. What the fuck?
Right. That's one of the reasons why the plane ticket price is so changing high because of gas. Like what I just said. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the same thing as this. Like, one of the costs of emissions is climate change. Like, what are you talking about?
Right. And it's like the arguments are so dumb. But what it is like I said, an emotional response, right? And an emotional answer, something that makes sense to, your layman head, especially when we're talking about a large majority. And think about it. You got to think about this. A majority of people who voted for Trump. And again, I don't fucking give a shit if you voted for him, if you liked him. I don't think he did anything for black folks. And I don't think you could prove he did anything for black folks. And I think you were dumb for thinking he would do something for black folks. And if you say he did anything for black folks. Okay, but if you did vote for him, I don't give two shits because all presidents are pieces of shit. Right. Okay, all of them. So, with that being said, if you looked at who voted, who actually went out and voted for Donald Trump, a vast, large, like group of those motherfuckers was low income, high school graduates or lower. Meaning people who didn't even graduate high school or just graduated high school. So, because they didn't finish high school, wasn't able to finish high school, dropped out of high school, or just got through high school. This is the reason, because they are all laymen. They don't understand how deep areas of, things like evolution. They don't understand science. They don't understand, right? And a large majority of these people have religious beliefs which satisfy their questions. And because of those two reasons, they are easily digested, right? It's easier to say, like if you ask me, okay, if it wasn't God, who was it? And how did it all start? I don't fucking know.
Right.
That's the answer I'm going to give you. You know why? Because I don't know. Neither does anybody else. Well, if you say to me, nothing can come from nothing. First thing is, dummy, there wasn't ever nothing. You idiotic, stupid son of a bitch.
Right. That's why we always be having that debate talking about nothing.
Right. There is no such thing as scientific nothing, you dummy.
Right.
And the fact of the matter is, okay, if you can tell me what scientific nothing is, please explain to me what scientific nothing is.
There's no way that you could explain it, because if you could explain it, it would be something at the very least.
And people don't get that shit, right? And they don't understand that, guess what? Hate to break it to you, dark matter, which is outside of the universe, is something.
Right.
It's not nothing.
Right.
So the argument of nothing from nothing equals, you can't go from nothing and add nothing and get something. Yeah, and that's why you're an idiot. You know why? Because, and I'll say, okay, so I say, I don't know. That's the intellectually intelligent answer to say. What is your answer? Well, God. You know why? Because for people,
that's a filler answer.
It's a filler, but it's a God of the gaps answer. It's a filler answer. It's a It's something that makes you feel good because you like to think that you have all the answers, which you don't. The idea of not knowing everything is scary to people
Yeah, facts.
because you're dumb. And that scares you because you think if you know the answers, some way you are going to be able to control it. Motherfucker, you can't. And that's the problem. This idea of, well, you don't know, but I do. That means I'm smarter than you. No. This idea of knowing something, it makes people feel good. It's an emotional answer. It's something that just makes people feel good. And then they can, because most of us have been indoctrinated with some sort of idea of religion. And, even when you deconstruct out of Christianity, you go through this kind of list, right? And the list is, well, I don't believe in this belief system, but there still could be a God. And then you realize, okay, all of these religions really kind of don't make no sense.
Right.
And then you go to what is called spirituality. Well, what is spirituality? Well, that's when you are able to construct your belief systems. And what do you usually say when you are a spiritual person? Well, there is some sort of higher power. There's some sort of something that started everything, right? Okay, so is it intelligent? Well, I don't know. But you still get to say it's a higher power. Well, it could be like energy. Then call it energy, you dummy. Well, but that's, how do we know it's energy? Well, why are you using that as an example?
Right. That's like, bro, you the one that brought that up. What do you mean?
Right. And so the thing is you can hold on to this idea of a higher power for a long time. A long time. I did. I went through all of those things. Now, I've gone through all of these things. And guess what? There is no evidence and there's no reason to believe in any of that. And that is something that's hard because then it shows you right off the bat what it actually tells you. And it forces you to understand is that you're not special, motherfucker.
Right.
And guess what? Every single person on this planet has this narcissistic trait. It's not narcissistic, like you're a narcissist. What it is this trait of narcissism. To think that you're special. You understand?
Or even to think that you're unique in a grand scheme of things.
Right. And guess what? I hate to break this to you. You are nothing but a grain in time. You are not special. None of us are. And guess what? Because a lot of people say, well, why would you keep on living? There's no point. Actually, there is the experience in itself. You see what I'm saying? The point of life, the meaning of life is for experience, period. That's all we know. Well, you don't have a, what is it called when you don't have a, what is it? When you have a, starts with a P. You have a, I can't even fucking remember the word. Why am I blanking right now? What is that word, bro? Help me out.
Well, perception? I don't know.
No, it's you don't have a, what is it? It's like you don't have meaning. There's no meaning to do this. It's not purpose. Thank you. Purpose, right? They think, well, you don't have a purpose. No, we create our own purposes, right? We create purposes every single day. You create your own purpose. The purpose that you have is for you, right? And so the thing is all of these things, but what it forces you to do, what it actually, and this is what people don't really understand. This idea of a higher power, it allows you to not have to take responsibility for the fucked up shit that you've done in your life. But guess what? When you don't believe in that shit, you come to the realization that you do have to accept responsibility. You have to. You can deny it. You can always deny it if you want. But most people who don't believe in, most atheists, they understand, oh shit. Things that I do actually affect people. And it affects the people around me. Not only that, but I have to accept that. And if I don't, then I'm just lying to myself. So it kind of forces you start to think about these things. So like if I throw fucking a plastic bottle, guess what? I have to accept the fact that I am helping to the fucking, the warming and fucking the carbonation and the litter and all that other shit. Guess what? I am helping that. That big ass island of plastic bottles in the middle of the ocean. Guess what? I'm helping that. You see what I'm saying? It forces you to. Now, again, a lot of this stuff you can ignore. But things that you can't ignore is how you treat people. If you're violent and you beat people up, if you don't treat people right, if you don't act right, if you treat your girl like shit, that is on you, no one else.
Facts.
You can't then say, God, I want to change my life. Please forgive me for all the things I've done. And guess what? You don't feel like you have to fucking, say sorry to her. You know why? Because God forgave you. No, nigga, you still have to fucking apologize and make shit right. That's facts. And a lot of people don't get that. You don't have to accept responsibility of how you treat people you know, people you love, your family, your friends. You don't have to when you have a God, because you can put it on him, especially in Christianity, because God, Jesus, forgave you of all your sins, which is a backward statement anyway. Go ahead, keep on.
Oh no, you know what? I was just actually looking at the rest of that article, and the rest of that article, for the most part, seemed like real similar to that article that we had just read. So you had shot these articles over. The first one that you had is groundbreaking study uncovers origins of quote unquote conscious awareness. How do you feel about the conscious awareness? And shout out to Kid Gravity. Make sure if you guys are around that 12, you guys can go over and check out that Larry Elder debate. He got destroyed.
Oh man, I wouldn't mind you showing a little bit of that. Okay, so the consciousness thing, self-awareness and consciousness, I think personally, I think it's very interesting. I think it's a very interesting study. And they corrected itself in that study a few times, because it kind of makes you think that, they found out where consciousness comes from. No. They showed that there's a point in which you recognize that, certain things, self-consciousness,
awareness,
right? Self-awareness, right? And it teaches you certain things. And these small levels are levels that actually help you progress to become and learn and, help you learn through time. So I think it's very interesting. I think I can't say that it's not true. It makes sense. But I think the title actually makes it seem like they figured out where, the idea of consciousness itself comes from. I think that's evidence that consciousness is in the brain. I don't think it's evidence of where consciousness comes from. Self-awareness and consciousness come from. But I do think that this is where you can start saying, okay, this is an actual self-realization. And then when you have that self-realization, then you start realizing there's other things that you can do. So I do like that for that reason. I think it shows at what age that really starts to really form and comes around and then comes out.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so let's check this out real quick. So what it says here is a recent study used infants to investigate the origins of purposeful action, showing that agency emerges from the relationship between an organism and its environment. And I've heard that before. That's where the like they say that's where like the start of consciousness comes from.
Right.
Using a baby mobile experiment, researchers demonstrated that when infants recognize their ability to cause motion in the mobile through their movement, they transition from spontaneous to intentional behavior, marking the quote unquote birth of agency.
See, and that is how it comes about, right? And where that was able to form, right? Like, because if you look at certain animals, they say doesn't have agency. I don't believe that. I think agency comes with every single living creature. That's my personal belief. Again, I couldn't absolutely prove that, but I do think that's true to some account, in a lot of accounts. And I think the same rule applies to an animal who starts movement, right? And so, but the idea of consciousness is not answered by it. I think it just shows where consciousness emerges and where it starts.
I think that what they've shown is that there begins to be a memory and a pattern recognition of the action reaction loop,
right,
which could create other chain reactions.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like my thing is that consciousness is not the same thing as life, but consciousness is tied to life. And in my opinion,
what do you explain that real quick? Like go into that a little bit, because that's kind of interesting the way you worded it.
Yeah, I don't think consciousness and life are synonymous, which I don't think there's ever been an argument saying that they are. But I think a lot of times the terms kind of get people kind of believe that like something has to be alive to be conscious. Something has to be, there has to be a certain level of complexity for it to be conscious. I don't know for a fact if that's necessarily true.
So you're saying just because there's life, there doesn't have to be consciousness.
I'm saying I don't know.
Okay, you're saying that you don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether
I think life does prove consciousness. It's just there's consciousness on different levels. Now,
yeah,
again,
I agree with that.
I couldn't prove it, but I think life and consciousness based upon having a brain proves consciousness. And I think consciousness is real in every single, every being. Right. Every living thing.
But brains don't necessarily indicate
that. Doesn't, yeah, exactly. Brains doesn't mean consciousness either.
Right.
Absolutely. Because again, remember the article that I had showed you before, when I say to people like speciesists, I call a lot of vegan speciesists, right? And I fuck with them a lot, right? Because they're like, well, I don't, because a lot of them make arguments based upon how animals are treated, which I understand, but that doesn't mean you don't need to eat meat. It just means they do it a nasty way, and you have to figure out a good way of doing it, right?
Right.
Now, that doesn't mean you can't eat meat, because we are made to eat meat. We're omnivores. We eat, vegetables, we eat fruits, we eat fucking meat. We eat both, right? So the thing is this is how we are created. This is how we are made. Not created, but this is how we are, right? Our stomach digests these things, and it makes it us able to sustain ourselves. Now, when they say they don't eat meat, I say, well, what do you eat then? And then they say, well, I eat fruits and vegetables and things of that nature. And I say, well, they're alive too. Well,
right, like you're not eating plastic.
Right. And they say, well, they're not alive in the same way. They're not conscious. Well,
so how do you put it, and how do you put a value judgment on their level of conscious when you're not able to communicate with or even perceive or understand that level of consciousness, but you're putting some type of value and hierarchy on it?
Right. And the most of them say, well, because they don't have no brains and they don't have a soul. Well, now that's not true. First off, what is the soul? Where is the soul? Where is it located?
Right. I was going to say there's no evidence that we have a soul.
Right. Exactly. So that marks out that one. Now, how do you know that plants don't have brains? Well, they don't have them. Can you see them? Well, again, I didn't ask that. How do you know a plant does not have a brain?
Right. Like, what if plants are like, well, it doesn't matter if animals die because they don't have chlorophyll.
Right. Now, here's the thing. Guess what? If something has an emotion or reaction, then we know that they have some sort of system, whether it's a complex brain or not. It feels, it reacts, it is trying to live. That is its purpose. If it's trying to live, it does have some sort of consciousness. Now, then here they say, well, you can't prove that. Well, you can. And the answer is this. If I take fucking a plant and I cut it in the middle, guess what? The plant screams. Wait, hold on. Did I just fuck y'all up real quick? A plant screams when you cut it. A plant releases pheromones in order to protect himself when you cut it. These are two reactions based upon your action of cutting it. It literally screams. Now, they've proven this. This is scientifically proven. And I'll even give you even more evidence. First evidence is the sound of them screaming has been proven. They put a recorder there and they were able to get we just can't hear it. It's sonically not on our level, okay? But they've proven it. Go read up on this. That's one form of consciousness. The second one is a form that you actually can fucking say. When you cut your grass or when someone cuts your grass, what's something that you automatically noticed? Think about it real quick. And you don't even notice it really, but there's a smell, right? You notice that smell of freshly cut grass? That smell isn't there by accident. The smell is a defense mechanism. It's a pheromone that is released because it's in pain. So these two reactions show that there is some form of consciousness, which shows that that thing is alive. Now, they have done this test many, many times, over and over and over. The plant wasn't screaming before you cut it. When you cut it, it screamed. That is proof of life. You are hurting the plants. Period. Now, the question then becomes, are you thinking that this thing does not have consciousness because it's not similar to you, and because animals are slightly similar to you, you have a little bit more of a heart for them? It's easier to look at an animal and say, oh, it has a brain and fucking runs and can have babies and blah, 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 blah. You see what I'm saying? So the fact of the matter is, plants do feel. Plants do try to live. And they do have emotions based upon the evidence that we have. So the question now is, are plants alive? And do they feel? That's the question. And the answer is yes. So your argument now turns into, well, if they have life and they live and this is what it is, how do you justify eating those things? And they cannot answer it. They just try to make the same stupid ass arguments that people who eat meat make. And that's what it is. So again, I want y'all to pay attention to this shit, because there's a reason why all this shit comes up. The reason why all this shit comes up is because everything is living on this planet, period. I understand. I don't think that they should be killing all the cows and the pigs the way they do. I think it's fucking disgusting. I actually think that people should fucking have to hunt for their own food, honestly. You start to actually learn more respect for the fucking animal. You don't use as much. Everything is more in a balanced order. You don't fucking, kill things to extinction. You start to understand more things. It's more respect. But we don't do that anymore. So I just wanted to point that out. So keep on going, bro. Everything has consciousness, and there is a consciousness that comes with life. And it's just in different forms.
Yeah, so I think this is interesting. It makes this assertion here. It says living things act with purpose. But where does the purpose come from? How do humans make sense of their relation to the world and realize their ability to affect change? These fundamental questions of agency, acting with purpose, have perplexed some of the greatest minds in history, including Sir Isaac Newton, Charles Darwin, Erwin Schrödinger, and Niels Bohr. All right, it's, of course, all white people asking the simple question of what are we supposed to do?
Right.
Breathe, for one. You know what I'm saying?
That's absolutely facts.
Let me stop, man.
Look, go into it. I want to hear.
No, I mean, like, to me, like, I don't think that some living things act with purpose at all. Like, I think there's degrees of purpose. Like, as far as like basic functions or basic functionality, like doing just enough to keep oneself alive, or even not even enough to keep oneself alive, but like to just basically sustain metabolism. I think that there's a lot of things that only do that, and then there's other things that may find other purposes. You know what I'm saying? And then
remember we had this argument though. Remember? And what did I tell you? I said, if you really think about it, right? I asked you, I said, what do you think is the most successful thing on the planet? Remember?
Mm-hmm.
And I
said a tree.
That's what I said. I said, if I was going to be anything, I would be a tree. Why? Because a tree can live on and on. It doesn't have to do anything. All it needs is certain things. And if you understand, and if you've ever seen a tree, right, that can't get a lot of light, it'll literally change its position in order to try to get as much light as they can.
Mm-hmm.
So the question then goes, what if that's literally the smartest thing on the planet? It doesn't have to move.
I mean, if intelligence is based on efficiency and survival, if you ask me, it's very clear what the smartest things on the planet are.
Very true.
And it would go from like, it would probably be like the oldest, most evolved species,
right?
Probably one of which trees would qualify as, and like higher up in that. Wouldn't be a lot of animals. I mean, there'd be some animals, older animals that have been around for a long time, but animals are fairly young on the larger scope of the chronology of Earth.
Facts. And that's what I'm saying. If you have a tree species,
like fungus might not be a bad answer for that either.
Yeah, that might not be a bad answer at all. And again, you have to understand the levels of complexity, right? So if you understand this complexity and you understand this ideal of survivability, because I'm an atheist, right? So because I'm an atheist, I look at things a lot differently, right? So what is purpose of our life? Life is to live. It's to survive. It's to procreate. It is to keep our species going on. I think every single animal across the board will say, you can say, honestly, what is the point of life? For all the animals, for all things, well, it's to live and to keep on living, right? Trees create other trees. Animals create other animals. We create other we's. Again, it's real simple. So procreation is something natural. Surviving is natural. All of these things are. So I think the basic purpose would be survivability and procreation. Those are two of the basic fundamentals of our purpose. Outside of that, you create your own purpose. That's just me.
Yeah, I agree. I believe that you may not even create your own purpose, but your interpretation, regardless of how complicated or how simple it is, may guide what your purpose becomes or what you perceive your purpose as. You know what I'm saying?
But I think that in turn actually creates the purpose that in which you feel you have.
Yeah.
You understand? Your understanding, your thoughts, the way you think, your ideals, your ideology, all of these things I think actually create, and then the things that you are influenced by. I think all these things actually create this idea of what you call purpose. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you sat here and you thought about it today, right, in a very simple format, and you didn't really think about it in a very complex way, you think about it in our worldly way. What is your purpose? Well, my purpose is to fucking have a car and a house and fucking have a good job. That's the first purpose you fucking learn. That is what I mean when I say we create our own purpose. We might not even realize it, but that's what we're doing. We're creating purpose. That's just me.
Yeah, I agree. Let me see. So hold on, because we're kind of running out of time, and I want to actually.
Yeah, let's go. Let's run through them.
I want to get to this. Hold on. This debate here. The black conservatives versus
I'm
white
waiting
liberals.
for that. I thought we was going to hit that up, but we got into this, and I'm good. So let's get into it. Let's run through this. You want to finish that up real quick, and then fucking we can jump over to that, or what?
Nah. We can get into this shit right now. Hold on.
Okay, let's do that shit.
Yeah. because that article is long, and
It
we
is.
and we can always come back to it.
We can always
You
come
know what I'm
back to it,
saying?
but it's a very interesting article, and I think it really starts to delve into the mind. And again, I want y'all to understand this idea of morals, morality, and consciousness. These are things that are just now starting to be studied in your brain. So I want people to understand that we don't understand how the brain works. We understand how most of the different parts of our body work, but we do not understand the brain. And they have been doing tests on the brain. Where is this idea of morality coming from? What part of the brain is it coming from? How does it work? How do we construct these things? Things like that. So when you ask question about morality, nobody can really answer. When you ask things about consciousness, you have to just wait. We have to be patient. We have to say, yeah, we don't know everything. And these are the proper answers. It's okay just not to know. So
Right.
people, please just, try to be intelligently honest and just be, intellectually honest. And just, if you don't know, just say you don't know. It's okay not to know.
Yeah. I agree. So this is it right here. Black conservatives versus white liberals. So now here's my question. Who's your money on? Who do you think won this?
Who do I think won this?
Yeah.
I don't think either one of them won.
You don't think anybody won?
No, they both sound stupid as shit.
All right, I'm gonna ask everybody in the comment section. Who you guys think won? The white liberals or the black conservatives?
And the thing is I think both sides had certain points that were good and they were legitimate, but I think they were all flawed points.
Yeah, of course. Because they're attached to a pre-planned, choreographed religious dogma.
Right.
That, you know what I'm saying, that does nothing.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, neither one. This is just gonna be comedy. You know what I'm saying? So let's check this out. Let me know if there's any places where you want me to stop.
All right, I'll let you know.
Prompt. White Americans have way more advantages than Black Americans.
I think I'm a rarity here.
It would seem so.
Do white Americans have more advantages because they're white, or do just white Americans have advantages because of historic factors? I think that people want to argue at the end of the day over whether it's because you're white or not. I think that the answer is because you're white in the past, and that's how it kind of carries over to today. Even in times of the United States history where Black people tried to build wealth, with the Tulsa riots and everything, where that this wealth has been destroyed. And something that's upsetting to me is when conservatives talk about how we can't blame the past for what's happening in the present. That is true to some extent, but then in the next breath they'll talk about how important it is to have dual parent households.
Stop right there.
It is to have a strong family.
That is the dumb shit that I'm talking about. That's supposed to be a fucking liberal, right?
That's your boy Destiny, who's an idiot, if you ask me.
Yeah, I think he's a fucking idiot too. The fact of the matter is, the past, not to some point, affects us in the future. The past affects us to a point, absolutely.
Facts.
Okay? There is
the past and the present determine the present and the future.
Right. And the fact of the matter is this. When you say what he did was he just lowered how important his first point was. See, That's why at first I was like, this is where I kind of stopped watching because he said that shit. Right. And I was like, I can't listen to this shit. That's what I said. I said, all right, we got to do this live. Because the fact of the matter is, a lot of people called those massacres, and they were not race riots, and none of that. They were massacres.
And
okay.
I don't know if you knew, Torian did a whole entire series, like he chronicled every single race massacre that we know
awesome.
of currently. Yeah.
Good, Torian, good on you. If you're still in here, big up. I'm gonna go watch that shit. The fact of the matter is this, okay? These were not only massacres, okay? Because we can call these things a lot of different things, okay? They were massacres. They were terrorist attacks. And the most important thing that all of these things were, and I want everybody to not only know this, but start saying it to anyone you talk to. This was literally economic terrorism.
Facts.
Okay? Why do you want to use this term? The fact of the matter is because they literally destroyed the economics of Black America. Not one time. This wasn't the only time. It's multiple times. And so, because there was economic terrorism going on to black folks that from then till now, the fact of the matter is it absolutely affected us and it still affects us. Period. No ifs, no ands, no buts. There is no, well, it did a little bit and, some of it. No, it still affects us because we're still going through economic terrorism today.
Facts.
Okay.
Facts.
That's
Super
why.
facts.
So go ahead. Say what you need to say.
No, you summed it up perfectly. That's facts. You know what I'm saying? All the way.
Family to have responsibility passed on from parent to child. And we've seen in the past that because of racial issues, that process has been severely disrupted.
The funny thing is that agreeing with all these things is when I did my research when I was younger, which arrived me to my standpoint of being a conservative, because I believed it was racist, Democrat, liberal ideologies and policies dating all the way back to the 1800s, all the way up to the 1960s, and then the purported big switch. But I think it was more so when Democrats decided to be a bit more cloak and dagger about their true opinions of black people and be more secretive and more,
stop
we're
right
going to
quick.
help
I'm
you
gonna just
by
make a quick
doing
point.
these things.
Go ahead.
The quick point that I'm going to make is this point that this kid is making is true and it's false at the same time. The fact of the matter is there is a big switch. The big switch was not based upon fucking this garbage that this kid is saying. The fact of the matter is Republicans is what a lot of our parents and grandparents and great-grandparents were when they first got into this whole understanding the political system. The fact of the matter is back in the day, before 68 to 72, the fact of the matter is the Republicans were literally the liberals. Let's not play this bullshit. And the big switch, yes, I get it. I understand it was a big switch. It went from Democrats, but let's also put it in context. The Democrats spawned, what the fuck are they called?
Dixiecrats?
The Dixiecrats. It's like the Dixiecrats, Democrats, they were part of the same bubble, right? And they did switch. The problem is the ideology switched too. And so Democrats realized, you know what? Look, if we do a few little things, we can start gaining extra votes. There was a push to give these little bits and pieces of tokens to black folks in order to get their votes. That is literally what they're doing today. The Republicans were doing the same thing all the way until like 68. So that's what they were doing. They just felt they didn't need to do it no more.
Right.
You understand? So they went back to their original ideology. Republicans were just as bad as motherfucking Democrats back then. And the fact of the matter is they were both two wings of the same goddamn party. And it doesn't fucking matter if we had black Republican fucking Congress people that fucking got voted in. Nobody gives a shit.
Right.
Because those same motherfuckers weren't allowed inside the House, the Senate, anything. They weren't able to make any kind of real fucking change for black folks. In a lot of cases, they might have been voted in, but guess what? Their spots were literally taken.
Yeah.
Forcefully, if need be.
Yeah, like Wilmington, North Carolina.
Right. And so this argument that he's making, the Republicans, they voted for black people. Nobody gives a shit.
Because when that shit happened in Wilmington, North Carolina, after they tore down Wilmington, North Carolina, guess who the white Republicans realigned themselves with? The white Democrats that burned down Wilmington, North Carolina.
Exactly. So the thing is the switch doesn't matter. See, he's playing himself because he thinks, oh, you know what? There's a point. There was a switch. And, blah, 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 blah. I don't give a shit what his point is. And it doesn't matter what the history was. You got to look at the people at, what they're doing today. Now, you can look at the past of these groups and you could say, okay, well, back in the day, Republicans were a little bit more open-minded to black folks. And this is why black folks at that time fucking went and fucking said, I'm a Republican, right? And Abraham Lincoln, he's going to do that shit. Abraham Lincoln, a lot of black folks, they were told this bullshit. And, Abraham Lincoln was like, I'm going to make you free, right? And so because of that, that was the only reason black folks voted for him. Because he was like, I'm going to make you free. Well, here's the problem. That was the token. But if you really understand fucking Abraham Lincoln, You understand? Well, yeah, I was going to free them, but that doesn't mean I was going to give them any fucking jobs, especially any jobs of power. And I still don't think they should fucking, be with white people. There should be a death, And then he said, on top of all that, if there is going to be a superior and an inferior, I say white people should be the superior.
Right.
So, again,
which is something that they agree with today.
It was not trying to do anything for black folks.
Facts.
Which is about votes.
Which is something that they agree with today.
Right. So, again, this is the point. You're missing the point. He's walking by the point because he doesn't want to accept the point. And this is why I tell everybody, if you're a Democrat or a fucking Republican, as a black person, you're an idiot. Because you're playing yourself. Thinking that these motherfuckers are trying to help you. It doesn't matter which side it is. They're not. They're playing you.
Facts.
Because it's a let me get votes game.
That's all it is.
That's all they care
That's
about.
all it is, bro. A let me get votes game.
Go ahead. Yeah,
facts.
Keep on going.
No, that's big. That's big facts. That's it. Like you summed it up again. Like you right on the bullseye. You know what I'm saying?
And seeing them as
Doing what
inferior.
things?
Affirmative action, welfare, all sorts of things that eventually ruin our culture and place us where we are now. But I want to get back to the history of it because we're talking.
Well, I just want to make sure we're clear. Giving them money hurt them, right? Is that what you're saying?
Well, yes, giving them, because if your father's out of the home, that's when we give you the money. If you're living in this housing,
so then give them the money while the dad's
rent free.
Well, then give them the money while the dad's in the home.
If you're working this amount of hours and
welfare didn't just go to black people, so I don't even understand why this even is being talked about.
Because again, he's ignoring. He didn't look at welfare completely. Again, welfare started officially in 1936. Okay, it started actually in 1916. A lot of people don't know this shit. Welfare actually started in 1916. No black folks was allowed to fucking participate in it, but it was official in 1936. And no black folks was allowed to fucking take advantage of it. Okay? When black folks, it was, I believe, 1964, 1968, is when black folks started to be able to take care of it. Now, his point is valid, but again, it's wrong. Valid in the sense of, yes, they would not give us welfare unless the father was gone. It was meant to disrupt the black family because the most dangerous thing to white folks, white America, is black families who are economically sound, stable, and motherfucking can actually do things for themselves. You need a permanent underclass. And again, this is the way that they do it. They try to destroy the economics in the black community, and they have. So they went all the way through. So his point is valid, but it's not valid because it wasn't them not giving us money that was a problem. The problem is forcing us to make a decision on do we want a family and get help or not.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Which is more important, being able to survive or having a family? That was the destruction, and that's what welfare did to us. Okay, he brought up affirmative action, and I just want to know, I want everybody to understand, affirmative action was put in place not just for fucking anything. It was for work, and it was for schools. Now, affirmative action was needed for a while. Affirmative action, I think, to a degree is needed, but I don't think it's needed. I don't think they need to call it that. The fact of the matter is this: a lot of black folks just were not getting accepted into schools unless you were black and played some sort of sport. Like predominantly white schools, they were not allowed in them. They were not getting picked and chosen, even when their grades were high enough. Okay? They were not being able to get jobs, even if they had the education and the know-how in order to get positions. Again, affirmative action was not meant to put people with a 600 fucking SAT score in college. That's not what it was for. And this is the way they're making it sound like. Affirmative action was meant to get them kids with really high SAT scores that were capable of doing the work. The kids that understood the work, that could fucking walk with those things. It was not meant for kids with low fucking grades, and that's not who it was meant for.
Facts.
Affirmative action was not meant for people who did not know how to do the position. Affirmative action was for black men and women who were capable but couldn't get fucking in. That's it.
Facts.
That's all. Anybody else that fucking says anything else the way he explains it is wrong. So go ahead. That's it.
Yeah, no doubt.
Getting less than this amount of
You're
dollars,
throwing-
you're getting money
you're
from the
throwing
government.
the baby-
Yes, it is
You're
incentivizing.
throwing the baby out with the
it is-
bathwater.
I don't even know what that means in this scenario because yes,
You're
okay, you
throwing
want to talk about throwing babies
okay,
out with
let
the
me break this
bathwater?
down for
Margaret
you.
Sanger wanted to exterminate the black race because she thought they were weeds. So yeah, we can literally talk about throwing the baby out with the bathwater. That's what
Okay.
Margaret Sanger, that's what Democrat policies wanted to do to my people. So that's
Let's-
why I feel so strongly about it because it is these policies.
Man, I'm not trying to be funny, man, but like the coon to conservative, like the pro-black coon to conservative pipeline is strong in this one.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Like it's strong. Like
Very.
it's wild. It's wild to watch the shit. I gotta holler at my man Carlton. You see this, right? This is that county prison to federal prison to Hotep Babel to PragerU.
Bro, isn't that crazy though?
It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, like I be talking about this shit all the time. Like, yo, it is crazy how these ultra black radical leather Kango hat to the side, leather jacket, you know what I'm saying, Nino Brown looking motherfuckers flip to being a buck dancing conservative coon just like that and literally say that they're using the conservatism to back their pro-blackness. Like that shit is wild.
Crazy wild, bro. It's crazy.
This shit is wild. Yeah, like he got all outraged, like, and Margaret Sanger did this to my race. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow,
It's like, motherfucker, are you really bringing up Margaret Sanger, you stupid son of a bitch?
Right. Like, wow, I guarantee you at some point in this video, he's going to be banjoing and buck dancing. I guarantee it.
Oh,
I
yeah,
guarantee
yeah,
it.
yeah.
But he's outraged about this shit. Like, this shit is bizarre, bro. Like, man, shout out to Neely Fuller. Like, this is maximum sophisticated confusion right here, bro.
Absolutely, it is. And Jesse Lee Peterson is the best example. Thank you, sir.
Jesse Lee Peterson, man.
And you know my history with that motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know my history with that motherfucker. He didn't want me to fuck on his show. He invited me, and then he took away the invitation. Because he knew I was gonna play that shit.
He went from being a fist pumper to a bussy popper. That's crazy.
Quickly. Go ahead. Let's finish what he's saying real quick, because it's gonna get even more funny. Watch.
All right.
That date back centuries that were built off of the death and poverty of my people.
Let's take a breath. So
I'm breathing.
Okay.
So a lot of babies aren't, but I am,
Okay.
sadly.
Hey, real quick, pause that real quick. Okay, I just want y'all to pay attention to that shit right there. Okay, now again, I'm not caping for this young man, right? But this is what white folks take a breath. Right? That whole thing right there,
That's a microaggression.
That is a definite microaggression. But not only is it a microaggression, but what he's doing is he's tainting the well.
Yeah.
Okay, and I want you to understand, because what that is, it is silent talk. Look at this old super exciting Negro.
Right.
Right. They don't want to accept passion. They don't like hearing passion. When passion comes out, now they want to act like you're getting too excited. You're excitable. You have no control over your emotions, right? They're saying, calm down. Nothing's wrong with that, man. He's fine. He's going through his point. He's excited. He's passionate about his ideals and what he's saying. But you got this liberal doing the same shit. Fucking these Republicans. This is why liberals are just as fucking bad, if not worse, than goddamn fucking Republicans. So pay attention to that small microaggression, how he did that. What he did was, look at this excitable Negro. Now I'm going to make my point. I'm going to try to sound really calm, and I'm not going to get excitable. This makes me right. And I'm going to outprove this fucking black guy right here.
Calm down, buddy.
Yeah. So I just wanted that to be pointed out. Go ahead.
Calm down, buddy. Calm down. You know what I'm saying?
the baby out with the bathwater. You want to completely get rid of welfare, okay? Or at least I don't want to put that on you. You haven't said that, but the conservative apparatus does, clearly. So giving money to a group of people does not hurt them.
I mean,
It
sure, if
can't.
you're talking about a lottery,
It
just say,
literally
take
can't.
money. But
Yes.
there are strings
Take money.
attached to that money.
Take all the
there
money.
are strings attached
Give
to
them
that
millions. Make them all millionaires. I don't care. Giving money to black people does not hurt them.
And that has
thinking
not happened, though. That has not happened.
What do you mean?
That has not happened.
Giving.
Let me shut up.
No, go.
It hasn't
I want to hear what you say, because I want to kind of hear your argument on it.
I want to know. I want to know what are. I
Right.
want to know what. I want to know. So, what are we? What are we talking about here with this white dude? Are we talking about just giving money out, like just everybody getting money, like a lift all policy or lift all sales policy? Because there's no situation where the government has just, first of all, just handed black people money. Now that did happen for white people multiple times. Where white people,
still to this day.
yeah, still to this day.
The biggest group of welfare fraud in this country is not black people; it is white people.
I mean, the entire $5 Indian thing came from, you know what I'm saying, like
White
cultural scamming,
Right.
you know what I'm
And
saying, of
They
white
took
people.
advantage of it. It didn't hurt them.
Right. So like
Right.
there's been plenty of situations where, like, you know, then there was the Homestead Act. Where is the situation where black people were just handed cash and then just handed cash for any type of reparative thing? So this guy right here, he's talking about giving black people cash won't hurt them. Okay, dude, then you're supporting reparations that we haven't gotten, right? Because we haven't gotten any cash handed to us. So what is it exactly that you're saying here?
Oh, so what he's saying is, if you can get help, and this is the way I'm taking it, but I don't know, and I can't speak for this white dude. And I think his basic point is, what you think that this money doesn't help? If it, any bit of money, anything that you can get will help, right? And I think in a very basic form, he's right.
So
And-
here's my question: if he's right, then how does that work as far as people saying that the government programs pushed black men out of the homes because it made black women too independent?
Okay, so this is the thing. That whole rule of the black man not being able to be in the home, right? That has kind of changed. It hasn't, but it has. Now, the thing is what you have to understand is the damage was done way back then.
Right.
The damage isn't done now.
No, but what I'm saying is that's an instance where just quote unquote giving money to quote unquote black people, because that money was given to a particular demographic of black people to weaken the fiber of the nuclear family.
Well,
that's an instance where just giving money wasn't helpful, quote unquote.
Well, no, that's it. No, because what it was it was an instance where you had to make a choice. See, the thing is when it comes down to welfare, you didn't have to kick out the white father back in the day. The rule was the father couldn't be in the house for black folks only. Okay? So, of course, it wasn't going to help because they made the family make a decision. You know how many families literally they sat down, the husband and the wife sat down, and the husband moved out.
Oh, I'm sure.
You understand? So it was the decision that was made. Now, all the things that came with it didn't help. And the reason why, and you got to understand, it was destroying the family. That was the point. It wasn't the point of giving out money.
Right. That's what I'm saying. The point, they weaponized the money
right
as a destructive force. So when you're weaponizing money as a destructive force, that's a particular situation where giving away money isn't helpful.
It's not helpful at all.
Right.
But I think when you're talking about the white dude, though, I think the white guy is talking more in a modern sense.
I don't know. My thing is, if he didn't specify that, and all he's saying is,
and we shouldn't assume.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if he's saying that now, like, my thing is because the way that I'm looking at that is, I'm just gonna assume that this white guy knows this, and what he's trying to do here is set up for a later argument of, well, black people have been getting money and it should be helping.
And okay, and if that's the argument that you're going to make, first off, let me say that I agree with you. I think he does know. Okay, that's number one. And if that's what he ends up doing, I can 100%. I'm with you. I get it. The only way what he's saying right now makes sense is if he's talking about modern day today. That's the only way.
Right.
And even that would be a tad questionable.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
So that's the only exception I'm getting, but I have to hear the rest of his argument in order to make that. But I do agree with you that he has to know that there's a difference between modern welfare and, I mean, recent.
Oh, yeah. He knows
recent.
Because it's the same tactic. Like what was done to black families was the same tactic as, hey, I'm going to use my powerful US dollar to dump all this money into the population so that I can show you guys we can install a leader here that's more capable of maintaining the country than your sovereign leader. So since we just proved that we just improved your economy, go ahead and overthrow your sovereign leader. We're going to sit back and act like nothing happened, and then we'll install the banana government. What United States effectively did with the welfare system was install a banana fraternity. You know what I'm saying? A banana fraternity, a banana fatherhood system. That, you know what I'm saying, which was ineffective and destructive to the father, to the family.
But not only that, but it actually started this idea of, black fatherless homes. It started the idea of culture in the black community. It started a lot more than just, these things. These things all equal a lot of different things, because you got to understand, like, you remember what I was telling you, when they destroyed black townships and black cities, primarily black cities, this is economic terrorism. Yeah. And then they did it again. Don't get it twisted. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to pay attention to something. And
bro, that is against like so many international and UN laws, economic terrorism. You know what I'm saying? Like, but
pay attention to this. They did it again between 1970 and motherfucking 1977, or actually 1970 to 1978, 79. How did they do it? When they built your highways, your freeways, they literally built all of the highways, literally, in economic centers in black neighborhoods.
Yeah, used eminent domain and ran freeways right through every single economic center.
Right, and then raised prices on the real estate in order so you couldn't buy another piece of property to start your business again.
Mm-hmm.
That is another form of economic. And this is the thing this was the final thing, the fucking nail in the coffin when it came to black economics in black neighborhoods. And this is why you have Asians, Middle Easterns, and white folks inside black neighborhoods making money off of us, and we don't get that money. Period.
Facts.
Go ahead.
Facts.
You're saying welfare was designed. Welfare was off of the idea of, hey, we get these families split up, we get these.
So then let them keep the family together and keep all the money.
I mean, I guess so, but I guarantee you.
I guess so. No, why would you not advocate for that?
So in your, I guess, research of like history of this country and everything, do you find like the Reconstruction era and like the failures of like what it wanted to be and then what it ended up being, and then which led into had downstream effects to enter into the Jim Crow era, and you have policies like redlining that influence how schools are funded. The downstream effects of slavery, do you think put black people as generally in a worse off position than white Americans?
I think generation by generation the effects of slavery have been diluted, but
how can the effects of slavery been diluted with literally no remedy whatsoever?
Right. See, this is what's so funny. He said it's been diluted, but he's ignoring everything. First off, what that kid said, but that's not even the worst part. Let's just break it down. First off, Reconstruction, sharecropping. Okay, sharecropping was nothing but slavery on your choice because you had no choice. Okay, that's number one. Number two, there was over 250 different jobs that were literally were taken away from black folks.
How can effects of slavery be diluted when, for one, effects of slavery were never remedied, and for two, new things like Jim Crow, redlining, and all that stuff popped up? Those were in addition to post-slavery conditions.
Right, but that's the thing. They took away 250 different jobs that black folks were more fucking capable of doing. They had more experience. They could do it. They always did it. Okay. And, the fact of the matter is this. They took that away. Then after that, they kept us in our certain areas. Then they started the criminal program of putting black folks in jail for dumbass reason. Being just hanging around. Okay, that was a crime. You got put in jail for that. Now you got to work for these same fucking plots and these same fucking farms and all this shit because they turned criminality. That turned you into a slave again. Again, 13th Amendment comes into play right here. Now, check this out. This is what's so fucked up. He's not paying attention. You take away 250 different careers that black folks can do. Now, black folks is looking for something. Then when black folks started migrating out, finding places to go, then after that, which is only like 20 years, after that, what they did was they started destroying black townships. Again, destroying the economics, not once, but twice, right there, in 40 years. Then we go and try to integrate. They won't let us fucking get their jobs. So what do? We start creating businesses in our neighborhoods. Then they destroy those businesses over and over and over and over again. See, this is the economic terrorism that has been abundant and clear. So it never went away. So him making that argument of, it's disappeared slowly. No, it hasn't. Not ever.
So what's interesting about this is this dude, the pro-black conservative, he's actually like killing his own talking
Absolutely.
points. And this is why that shit don't work.
He doesn't understand history. He doesn't know the full history. And this is the problem with like pro-black conservatives. They think they know the history, but they don't really know the history.
Yeah.
The history is deep.
They don't know anything.
They don't. They don't understand the laws that were literally put in place meant to literally target us.
Right. Laws that have literally never been reversed. Like they've never took the black codes. They've never took the black laws in each individual state, sat down, took them law by law and said, what do we need to do to reverse the effects of each of these things that went on for XYZ amount of time? They've never done that. So how can anything possibly be diluted?
Well, there's actually in the last, last 3 elections, there have been states who were trying to literally, because they still had them on the books, just like you said, states, right? Even though the federal law is one, but the state law was still there, right? Slavery is actually a big one. Okay.
Yeah, they just was talking about that in Tennessee.
Right. Now, Arizona, check this out. Watch this. Arizona said, should we repeal the slave laws? Meaning, still have slaves or not? Do you know that fucker, like 38% of the people in Arizona said, no, we should still have it on the books?
Oh, yeah, I'm surprised it was that low. 38%.
Bro. So I just, go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I'm dead serious. And you know, Arizona is like one of the most racist states.
Which is so funny, dude. Keep on going, bro. Let's see. I could go into that I could take an hour on that.
Yeah, there's a lot of dynamics there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
That Arizona and Oregon.
Well, yeah. Which
you know Oregon, bro. Let's stop.
Yeah. Yep.
Generation by generation, the effects of racism, welfare-based policies, and things of that nature became even more great. So in the 1880s or so, when we had our first black members of Congress, which were indeed Republicans, I think that was a great start for things. But obviously, we had terrible things that happened, like the Tulsa massacre, among black people being chased out of their homes by the KKK.
Sure.
All funded by the Democrat Party, all supported by the Democrat Party.
Well, I need to stop you there.
Okay, real quick. Stop
real
quick. He's wrong. It wasn't the KKK that drove black people out of their families in fucking Tulsa. No, it was just white people.
It was just white people. Yeah. There's no political party. Like it was white people on their race hustle.
Right. It was white people. It was not specifically KKK or the White Knights of America or the White Dragons of America. No, it was not. It was just everyday white people.
Yeah.
And it was everyday white people who destroyed Oscarville, that destroyed
they
Tulsa,
created
that
Lake Lanier.
Slocum, and fucking got Redwood and motherfucking all the rest of the fucking townships. It was regular white people. It was not fucking specific groups. That's a lie. And see, what he just did was he said that in order to alleviate white folks in as a group of what they did. He wanted to put it strictly on these people. It was all of them. He's a lie.
All of them. It goes back to all of the European countries. All the European countries who ever had contact with non-black people all had contact with those people and created oppressive systems and oppressive laws to destroy the societies that those people had already built, to be able to steal and extract resources and use the people that were there for cheap labor.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's
All
why we
European
had-
countries did it. All exploratory European countries did it.
Right. And he's not even, and the fact of the matter is, one of the biggest things is this. We had over 15 million square acres of fucking land and farm and agriculture land. We're down to something like 2 million. Okay. And most of that was not even taken legally.
Right.
Most of it was white folks, just random white folks going to the fucking owners, killing them or forcing them by fucking threat and taking the deed and then kicking them off the land. And there was no recourse. So he's missing a very large portion of the different economic terrorism that was put on the black folks. And he's acting as if these things are not that big of a deal, but it is absolutely a big deal. And even today, how they give less funding to black farmers than they do for white. And they withhold funding from black farmers even today.
And they let random white people terrorize black farmers, like how those black farmers up the Mallory family up in Colorado was being terrorized.
Facts. So
You know what I'm saying?
he's ignoring so much, but he's using the things that he knows about, the talking points of the right-wing group, as points in his favor. But actually, what he's actually doing is he doesn't understand the history. He doesn't understand. And this is what actually a lot of people do. A lot of black conservatives, a lot of, the immigrant Africans who don't know and get the history, but they don't choose. They choose not to understand these little things that really fucking matter.
Bro, these are the smart Negro in the room types.
Right. Oh, this is the good nigga.
Yeah,
This is good nigga, bad nigga shit. Go ahead.
Yeah. This is the smart. This is that smartest Negro in the room shit. They need to make a movie about black conservatives and call it The Spooks That Sat by Themselves.
Well, you know what, they do have one, but what they do is they kind of shed them in a good light. I think it's on Netflix. I'll fucking get the name and we'll talk about the next time we're on. But they do.
Yeah. Facts. And I gotta agree with Torian that I can't stand them types. Bro, I can't stand them.
Neither can I, dude, because what they're doing is they are ignoring major incidences that are detrimental to understanding and being able to fucking prove that we totally, and this is why I tell people, I don't make the argument of we deserve reparations just for slavery. I think that's clear.
Bro, conservatives are Poindexter Pookies.
Oh, absolutely, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's literally what this motherfucker right here is a Poindexter Pookie.
Right. But my point is this. People, y'all need to start making points of the what is it? It's called humanities. It's oh shit. Oh man, I forgot it. Oh, see, it's like crimes against humanity. That's what it is. Okay. Again, we need to start making more of those arguments. And the reason why those are actually going to be your stronger arguments is because what it actually does is it actually shows it's not because everybody understands slavery, but their argument is, well, you're not the slave no more, so you don't deserve that money. Well, actually, I do. Because number one, and the only argument you should be making about that is
no, listen. You still here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, you had popped out and came back in for me.
Okay, the only argument you need to make for when it comes to slavery is the money that I would have gotten if they got paid would have went down my family line, and that money was the beginning of building wealth. That's it. It's based upon literally, if it's like when my grandpa and when my daddy died, what do I get? I get the inheritance. It's literally an inheritance claim, and that's it. That's all you need. And you need to stop right there. Stop going with these motherfuckers and trying to go toe-to-toe. After that, when you make your claim for reparations, it needs to be a point-by-point delineation of every single thing that they did after the end of slavery. I need y'all to understand it. You know why? Because it shows everything that they went through in order to keep us at the bottom economically.
Yeah, I agree.
That is more important, because what it does is it completely destroys the argument. If that's where you think reparations is just about slavery. No, reparations is about slavery and all the different things you kept me out of.
Facts.
You understand? And so this is why it's so important to really understand the history and really to be able to shoot down everybody's argument, because you can use the crime, the fucking, the sharecropping, Reconstruction. You can use the missing of jobs, the destroying of townships, the destroying of economic cities and fucking everything. These are the bigger points that actually matter. Because had they not destroyed the townships, all fucking what, like 36 of them, 38 of them, that we knew of at the beginning, 9 times out of 10, most likely we wouldn't even be asking for reparations. You know why?
We'd have our own. We'd have our own value chains, like
Exactly.
the shit that I be talking about all the time.
Yeah, exactly. We would have built wealth by then. And it's clear we would have built wealth because of the fact that we had so many townships and they were successful.
And it's also clear that we would have built the wealth and that was a threat, because that's a pattern of behavior that they kept attacking.
Exactly.
They weren't attacking messed up areas.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
So please make sure you understand the arguments and why I'm telling you these are some of the more important arguments. These are the arguments that they have no answer to. You see what I'm saying?
Facts.
Those are the answers that are actually, in a sense, more important. These are the fucking facts that they can't say nothing about.
Facts. You got to hit them with the slam dunk all the time. Repeat
every single time.
Repeated slam dunks. You know what I'm saying? Repeat it.
Right.
Bullseye.
The points, major points, are all the things that economically disadvantaged us, not the fucked up shit, Jim Crow. Okay, Jim Crow, that's a small point, but what came from Jim Crow? You see what I'm saying? It's the economic points that you have to make sure they understand.
In order to get punitive damages in court, you have to show actual and realized damages. We have to show actual and realized economic damages, which
Absolutely.
is very easy.
Yeah, and I noticed that very few people ever concentrate on that. But that's the evidence that you need to show.
Yeah, that's basically having an invoice. Here, this is everything that we didn't get. You know what I'm saying?
Facts, bro.
Itemized, like how they talk about itemized, like a line by line itemized bill. We need to have a line by line. And this is what I be talking about. This is like why I be trying to integrate like business format and business terminology and stuff like that into the content that I do, because like people need to come up with these itemized lists. You know what I'm saying? People need to use net present value to calculate what $100 in 1864 would be in 2023 using net present value and internal rate of return formulas. You know what I'm saying?
Tribute not to the party, but to the ideology. Because I think when you think, regardless of whatever the party switch was, traditionally conservative values did not like. That's more aligned with more racist policies in this country. Like
compare 2020's conservatism to 1880s conservatism.
I think that doesn't matter what the conservatism is. That is that's a dead argument.
Right.
Because conservatism is the same thing all the way across. It is believing in having a moral ideology of Christian or Abrahamic belief systems, usually Christianity, and that is conservative. To be modest and things like that. That is conservative. Economics and how they use money and where the money should go. Okay, that is conservatism. How much money does the government spend and how much money does the government get? It's about economic conservatism and religious morality ideology. It has nothing at all to do with anything else. And that's what it's been since day one, period. No, anybody else fucking says that shit, they're stupid. They're dumb. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's facts.
So personally, I feel like there's really only one thing that white people have a true advantage over black people with, and it's that white people are less likely to be forced into a box. It happens with black people onto other black people, but it especially happens with white liberals onto black conservatives, where we are told that we were supposed to think a certain way, be a certain way, and if we're
Look, man, there it is. There's that stupid shit.
Yeah.
The only racism that we deal with is the racism that white people from white liberal. Are you serious?
That is, yeah, and this is the idiotic bullshit that just frustrates the ultimate hell out of me.
Yeah,
It
this is
really-
that smart dumb Negro in the room stuff. Just that dumb shit that I'm talking about right
It's
here.
not even the smart dumb Negro. What it is it's this guy waving up his hands and saying, "Hey, massa, look at me. I'm good." Right? I can say
Yeah.
what you say, son. Right?
Yeah.
It is what this is look, I'm making an argument that the only, it's the liberals that are racist. Motherfucker, if you were really paying attention, everybody knows the liberals are fucking racist, you piece of shit.
Right.
It's just that the liberals are giving out a little bit more than the fucking racist Republicans. And
Yeah.
if you don't understand why black folks vote Democrat, like I understand because, again, like I told you, the biggest point that I like to make is this. This is why, because black folks never really understood politics like other white folks, right? And my point is justified by Obama. How many times have I made this point, bro? What did black folks ask for when Obama went into office? I'll wait. Anybody in the room, tell me what black folks asked for when he went in office. This is why I laugh at motherfuckers who say Obama didn't do nothing for us. He was a sellout. How many things did black folks ask for? I will wait. I'm still waiting for any answer. And I don't think I'm going to get one. And I will tell you the answer. Guess what? Obama gave you everything you asked for. Well, no, actually 2/3.
Black people back then were asking for lift every voice, rise all tides policy. That was what motherfuckers was asking for.
Yeah, literally, black folks asked for 3 things. More funds for fucking schools, especially elementary schools. We asked for motherfucking healthcare. We needed help on healthcare. And we asked for more jobs. Guess what? Guess what, black folks? Guess what he gave you? He couldn't do nothing about the funding for the schools because that is law. So he couldn't fucking give you that. But you know what he did do? He got you jobs. That's why black unemployment dropped down to fucking what, 6%? And you know what he gave you? Healthcare. Guess what? Guess what, black folks? Y'all keep on saying Obama fucking was fake and he shitted on you and he didn't do nothing for black folks. Guess what? No, he gave you 2/3 of every single thing you asked for. The problem is, black folks don't really get the political system. We didn't go to fucking Obama with a list of everything we wanted.
The list of demands.
That's what we didn't do. But guess who did come with a list? A fucking 180 fucking page list. LGBT. But you're mad that he gave LGBT more shit. Okay, well, where's your list at? See, this is, and I'm not sitting here caping for Obama because Obama is a piece of shit and I didn't like him either.
Yeah, but the facts is what matters. And if people don't understand the facts with the Obama era errors, then those same errors will repeat. And there's not really time for people to be repeating like epic fails like Obama.
Right. And the fact of the matter is this. Look, if black folks would have asked for more, he would have figured it out and did it. He did things over and beyond. Guess what? Y'all want to say, fuck Obama. Guess what? All you niggas out there that's smoking weed, you think he told the federal government to leave people smoking weed alone for a reason? He did it for black folks. You know why? Because black folks were the ones that were most affected when it came to marijuana law. You didn't ask for that, but he gave you that. When black folks wanted fucking to start entrepreneurship, guess what? He gave grants to black folks. And don't get me wrong, a lot of immigrant Africans took advantage of those loans and those grants and shit like that. But guess what? He gave you that. But guess what? You didn't ask for that either. See, the thing is I don't shit on Obama except for the shit that he did wrong. The biggest problem when it came to black folks is this. Black folks thought that he should have been, number one, loud and proud and told everybody what he was doing for black folks, which he
that's that need for symbolism.
Right.
But I do got problems with Obama though, because Obama disrespectful as fuck. You know what I'm saying? This nigga out here disrespecting, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I do too, bro. You're not wrong. I do too. I got problems with him. But what I'm saying is this. Y'all don't understand. Obama did a lot of shit. The thing is Obama wasn't able to be loud and proud and fucking go out and fucking say all these things. Obama put a lot of the things that he did for black folks underneath. He slipped them in certain bills underneath the shit that y'all don't know about. He had to. And let me explain why he had to. Obama did what he did because guess what? Obama knew one thing. And if you didn't know this, again, you're dumb. But Obama barely did anything out loud for black folks. And guess what? You know didn't you guys see how pissed off white folks was after 8 years of him in office? When do you think you're going to see another black person in office again?
Probably never.
Right.
Not for our lifetime.
Right. And had he been even
unless
more
it's
nigga,
unless it's an absolute coon, but they don't need no absolute coon. Now they got Vivek Ramaswamy and all the Asian and Latino people.
They got other minorities now.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need black folk. So the thing is the fact of the matter is he did it in order to try to safeguard and try to make it possible for other black folks to get the presidency. So the thing is and then the last point is, again, he's a fucking face, bro. The people who had the real fucking power were the House and the Senate. So the thing is if you understand what he was doing, he did exactly what he was supposed to do, and he did it the right way because he was trying to safeguard the ability for other black folks to actually fucking be able to still gain some sort of change. The problem is he did a lot of fucked up shit too. And the shit that he did fucked up and against black folks was a lot louder than the shit that he did for black folks.
Well, one of the reasons why it was louder was because it would be signal boosted by white people. So there's always that. People got to take that into consideration too. Well, any media, any media coverage, anything like that is always an attempt to derange internal politics or to create a mirage of something to make it look like it's something that it's not.
Yeah, and again, he might have killed. Did he really kill Gaddafi? I thought Gaddafi was killed in the 90s. I thought that was a Clinton or Bush thing. I don't know. He could have killed Gaddafi, and if he did kill Gaddafi, you know why? That was the United States that killed Gaddafi. It wasn't Obama per se. Obama might have said yes, or he accepted it. But the fact of the matter, that was the U.S. government. That was a lot of other shit going on, because they needed to protect the economy. I think that was a different move. I don't know if you can necessarily put that on Obama himself. I get it. I understand if it was during his presidency, more power to you. I'm not going to argue that.
They had interests over there in that region during that time. They wanted to destabilize a lot of those governments, Egypt being one of them. I think Sudan was the other one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a whole different. I think that was a different reason. There was a reason behind that.
Well, it was oil. They wanted to install puppet governments over there because they were building up their own oil independence.
Well, it's not just that. It's because the largest gold mines are actually in Africa, and because Africa was actually they were attempting to build a currency system, and it started in Libya with Gaddafi, and they wanted to build a fucking economy system, a dollar system that was actually backed by gold.
Yeah.
Which means the money that was going to be created in Libya, in Africa, would have been worth more than the American dollar, more than the pound, more than any other fucking dollar across the world, and it would have destabilized the economies in most other countries. So
most other Western countries that the United States was allied with.
Most other, like almost 98% of all countries, not Western, all countries. Like, let's make that very clear. That's why that was done. Because if you give Africa an economic system that is more powerful and has more wealth based upon the backing of the currency, you destabilize literally Wall Street. You destabilize the oil-backed dollar.
You destabilize the entire
everything.
Global financial system.
Right.
That's one of the reasons why all these white countries and Asian countries have a concerted effort to keep Africa poor, despite the fact that it's asset rich. Because the moment that Africa stops exporting and starts backing its currency with assets that it has in its own, in the countries within Africa, it's a wrap. That's when Africa can turn out the lights on the world, which is what they need to be put back into the dark ages.
And what's so funny about it is Africans make up something like 98% of all of Africa, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they make on why they haven't fucking taken over their country and fucking done their own country by themselves. So many excuses. And this is why I don't care. You can get offended all you want. This is why I really don't have very much respect for fucking immigrant Africans that come here and make all these fucking, I don't like it. When they shit on black folks out here and they fucking say the shit that they say and they go against the agenda that we're fighting, I have no respect for them because of that simple point. 98% of your whole country is your people.
Yeah, we only make up 13% of the population.
And you're not trying to control, you're not kicking these people out, creating your own economy and backing it with fucking actual materials that you have in abundance in your own country, and you're still poor. You know how easy it would be to have a coup in every single country in Africa? Fuck out of here. Go ahead, bro.
All right. No, that's fact.
We're not, then we're called all these names like etc. And the worst of all is bootlicker, because I hate when a white liberal tells me as a black man that I'm a bootlicker.
You're a bootlicker, dude. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry, but you're a bootlicker. Like, come on, man.
Because then I ask, whose boot am I licking? Because you're telling me as a white person that me as a black person that I'm licking your boot because I don't think in this box that you want me to frame my mentality in. That to me is real racism, and that's what we need to stop allowing to happen to us. Because
that's real racism. What do you guys think? Do you guys agree that that's real racism? If you guys agree that that's real racism, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. What do you think about what he just said, Izzy?
No, it's not racism, and I've yet to hear any white person call a black person a fucking bootlicker. I've heard black folks call other black folks a bootlicker. I don't think white folks have the nuts to call a black person, a conservative black person, a bootlicker. Now, if a black person calls a conservative black person a bootlicker, they will agree quickly. But I've never heard a white person call a black person
where do they be coming up with this stuff?
I fucking don't know. And the fact of the matter is that isn't racism.
Right.
That's called prejudice at best.
Right. So how do these conservatives expect to get anything done politically if they don't even understand basic definitions of words?
It's because they think they're thinking in an individualistic mindset, okay? Which means this: they're not concerned about other black folks, right? So this is what I'm talking about when I talk about acquiescing. If they can acquiesce enough and they can show who they are, basically in secret say, "Sir, master, look at me, I'm saying the right shit." Then what happens is they can ultimately be put in positions that will get them higher paychecks and higher amounts of money and better jobs. Because what white folks get from that is, oh, he's not going to be a problem.
Right.
Right? Again, good nigga, bad nigga. He's one of the good ones. Look, listen to how he talks. He's not going to give us a problem. He's not going to fucking try to sue us for discrimination. Listen, look. And then when they make their money, Their then next argument is, see, I was able to do it. Why can't you?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they're not looking at it from a group perspective, even though they try to make group perspective arguments. They're looking at it from an individualistic point of view, and that's it.
Yeah, that's wild. My question for you is, how harmful do you think that this kind of talk is, as far as these Black conservatives using these kind of talking points?
I think ultimately these are some of the most detrimental people in our whole community. These are tantamount to traitors of the Black community. These are tantamount to Sambos. These are tantamount to, like, motherfuckers who were planted, Black folks back in the day, that when we had a revolution, when we tried to revolt, back in the early times of slavery, when we was doing all this shit, right? These was the motherfuckers that were put in our groups. And then they went back to Massa and they told Massa. And so a lot of the revolts and the rebellions that we had were quelled because of their knowledge of the things that happened. And these are the motherfuckers that literally destroyed those things. And that's why they are the biggest problem. And the next reason, very quickly, is because these Black folks are the ones that there doesn't need to be a lot of them. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These Black folks are going to be pushed in front of white people.
Absolutely. To substantiate the nonsense.
Right. And when they do, white people automatically say, see, that's what I'm talking about. That's why we know these motherfuckers is lazy.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't have to justify anything, because the next argument that they say, no, but I heard this Black guy, he said this.
He said this and he's a Black guy.
Right. And they think that's a legitimate argument.
Right.
They're not destroying the argument that you put forth. What their justification of not agreeing with your points in the argument is because the Black guy said something else.
Right. Which that doesn't mean anything. Only thing that means something is actual data.
Right.
Not some bootlick's opinion that he's being paid to try to get pats on the head from white people for.
Right. And this is the last thing. Black folks that do this type shit, they know this is easy money.
Oh my God, this is easy money, bro. I don't. Here's the thing with this whole situation, as far as the quote unquote this being easy money. I don't think that, like, normal Black people, like, there's a spectrum, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had a spectrum. There's like normal Black people, you know what I'm saying? Then there's like, like I would say like politically aware Black people. Then there's like the, like you would say like maybe like the B1 Black people. And then you would like say like the conscious community type Black people. You know what I'm saying? And then on the other end, as far as like there's the coon spectrum. You know what I'm saying? You got like the buck dance, you got the Democrat shills, you got the conservative shills, you got the pro-Black coons, you got the coons, you know what I'm saying? And then, you just have your just these people are just unapologetic buck dancers. I'm talking about people like Charles Barkley and Jason Whitlock that are literally just do what they're just busted open for whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So the thing is that, like, I don't think that most normal Black people going to the right on the spectrum, going all the way towards the like functional pro-Black people. I'm not talking about like the pyramid babblers and the hotep clowns. I'm talking about like the actual functional, like, academic, intelligent, well-read, like people like Dr. Claude Anderson type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that most people realize the lucrative amounts of money for internet buck dancing.
Oh, I think they do. I
don't think they do. I think that maybe coons do, and I think that maybe content creators do. But like the basic, like I don't think that like the basic, like when somebody sits there and watches an Officer Tatum, or somebody sits there and watches a Greg Foreman or Candace Owens, I don't think that just the normal person that says, "Man, that person's a coon," and then they just turn it off. I don't think that person realizes the amount of life-changing money that's in that. So when people, I don't think they do, because if you ask me, it would be more rewarded then when people don't do that. I don't have an expectation of somebody to be like ultra pro black. Simply not cooning to me is reward worthy behavior in this world right now until white supremacy is destroyed.
Well, okay, here's the thing. I do think they know. Now, here's the thing. I don't think they understand that you still got to take some time. You got to put your work in. You got to learn the talking points and then you have to build shit. Okay. But what I do think is black folks there's certain black folks, especially tad bit more educated black folks. I think they absolutely understand that how much money you can gain off this. And I think the fact of the matter is, the more black folks, because there's a range. Like you might not get, what's that broad name, that black chick name?
Candace Owens, that one?
Candace Owens. You might not get Candace Owens money, but you can definitely get the Hodge twins money. You can definitely get Officer Tatum money. You can definitely there are plenty of motherfuckers that's making decent money. You're probably not going to make Candace Owens. But when people look at this and they say, oh, wow, well, I can deal with that. That's better than what I'm making right now. I think they do know. I think the problem is that there's black folks that think about it. And it's like, I think there's not very many black folks that do it because I think ultimately they know that's traitorous behavior. And how are you ever going to be able to live that down?
That is why the coons cover being coons and cover their conservative cooning with they do it because they care so much about the community. That's why they do it, to make it not seem like it's traitorous. They do it to make it seem like, well, I'm just really passionate because I care so much. You passionate about that motherfucking check you finna get on the 21st.
Right, but let me ask you something. How many people in here, thumbs up or thumbs down? If you believe that she believes that she's doing it for the people, and that is somehow going to negate all the shit that she said, put a thumbs up. If you don't believe that, put a thumbs down. I don't think that matters. I think what truly matters is how soon can they see a fat paycheck from that?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Carlton says cooning pays very well, but the retirement plan is shitty.
It's shitty as fuck.
Facts.
But see, the thing is they care more about the now dollar.
Yeah.
And a lot of these people who actually succeed, the fact of the matter is if you take these checks and you use them right, you don't need a retirement check because you're going to have something in the bank.
Right.
You understand? And I think that's what they're betting on. And the people that change, the higher that money starts becoming, the more higher in cooning that they do.
Yeah. Yeah, facts. See, Torian got the whole list down here. The Black Karens and the biscuit bed bucks.
Right, exactly. And the biggest point to that is Stacey Dash. How much did you hear? Before Candace Owens, it was Stacey Dash. Now, what happened to her?
She just now found out that DMX passed away and she's crying, looking strung out. That's what happened.
I know, but what is that? Why did she do that? She was literally kicked. She was kicked out of that circle. You know why? They found a Candace Owens.
Yep.
That's why. Okay, we found a better one. Get out of here. You're no longer needed.
Yep. They found a new. They found a new C-1000. You know
what
I'm saying? So
you see what I'm saying?
They got the liquid version, so they got rid of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Right. So the fact of the matter is that just shows, okay, she did it and she was light-skinned enough. But see, what happened was they found Candace Owens. They said, look at her. She
white people got a weird, like, they don't like. Have you ever? And this is no offense to my brown skin and my dark skin people. You got to remember, like, when we're talking about this stuff, we're talking about what white people do to manipulate. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying this as a knock on dark skinned people or anything.
Right.
But have you ever noticed that, like, white people, if they can, they try to find the darkest or the most brown skinned people that they can find and use those as their, like, look at Candace Owens.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because
Like, where
at
do you
first it was all light-skinned motherfuckers, Larry Elders, Stacey Dash, and all them, right?
Right.
Now who is it? They go after the darkest of dark.
Yeah.
Across
Because they want to accentuate that. Look at how black this person is.
Right.
But he agrees with our white supremacist ideology. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's
they would
point.
like me and Izzy too light skinned to motherfucking cat to classify for any of that kind of shit. Like they not fucking with us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like somebody would see me and somebody see somebody else, they be like, nah, you know what I'm saying? Like you might have, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, we can't fuck with you. You're not what we need.
Yeah,
then see
CJ
somebody
Pearson was good until he got into college and he started looking more adult.
Right.
And now you barely hear him. You barely hear about him. You've seen a small little thing every once in a while about him. But
right.
He's not black enough.
And another thing that does is white people use like what they do is they use those coons, right? So they signal boost those coons, right? The dark-skinned coons. So then they'll see somebody, you know what I'm saying, like me or somebody like you, and they'll be like, these are see, these black people here, these ones, they have to try to over accentuate this quote unquote persona where see we have this dark-skinned person right here and this is this dark-skinned person right here, and it's like they try to use these images to try to play mind games with people. Like there's no over accentuation anything. Izzy know me for damn near 10 years. Like like my personality is literally not changed one bit. Like I'm the same motherfucker that I've been. And Izzy the same motherfucker that I knew. Like you know what I'm saying, same motherfucker that I've known.
So
you know
what it is they actually do take advantage of the, you know, light skin and dark skin nigga shit. Okay.
Yeah, right? Absolutely.
And at first,
but the thing that's crazy is they done made it where the light skin, and again, this is not, I'm not talking about world dynamics or intra like black people dynamics. I'm talking about the way that white supremacy weaponizes people.
Right.
White supremacy has weaponized it to where now they're trying to make dark-skinned people the new house N-word, and they got light-skinned people, the ones that are like, you know, like the field people, like the
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like the ghetto loud ratchet type stuff.
Here's the thing though. What the dynamic did is this is what they heard. And I'm gonna explain this shit to y'all. And the problem, okay. You know how there's kind of this divide when you talk about light-skinned niggas and dark-skinned niggas, and then you have this. Well, are they black enough? Are they even black? Right? Things of that nature. Now
that's some white people
kind of conversations in our neighborhood. Right? Yeah. Now I want you guys to pay attention to something. They noticed because for years,
white people focus on that shit like a magnifying glass. Bro.
Yeah, and what they did was for years, all the beginning years when you talked about conservative fucking black folks. They were light-skinned, and that wasn't for us. That was for other white people because they were light-skinned. They weren't that black. They were acceptable looking. They were, you see what I'm saying?
Mulatto, because they actually had like little shit written into the law for mulattoes where they had a little bit more privileges than other
right.
Black
now,
people.
What that turned into is once they got white people used to light-skinned fucking black folks saying white supremacist shit, what they noticed was, well, why can't we turn more black people because we need some of those black numbers. Then they realized, well, when black folks saw them light-skinned motherfuckers, they'd be like, oh yeah, that nigga's white. We'd be like, oh, that mixed ass motherfucker, look, he's on his white side, right? We would just ultimately we would just always push him away and be like, yeah, look, that nigga was probably raised by his white mama. Right? You see what I'm saying? Or raised by his black daddy. Or he was adopted or some shit, right? We always threw them motherfuckers away, right? Because we could, because right off the bat, we'd be like, oh yeah, he mixed with some, right? And we can automatically dismiss that shit easily. It was easy for us, right? And they saw that, right? They saw that.
But even that original shit that you're talking about, they got that from, like, that literally came directly from white people. And
right.
if you look at how white people do, white people will try to play on that shit now. Like like we all understand that Kamala Harris is not black. We understand that Barack Obama is not necessarily black. Like we get that, and we get that from our perspective, and our perspective is legitimate. They do it to try to derange internal politics or to try to take away from somebody's talking point. And like if we're talking about that and we're talking about like dynamics and how the being mixed and all of this stuff is being used, like Kamala Harris being a chameleon and shit like that, what we're talking about is legitimate. White people doing it is white people using white racism, being racist as fuck,
and being manipulative.
It don't have anything to do, like white people don't give a fuck about it. Like the light skin, dark skin shit that white people pour gas on the fire with, white people do the same shit when they go like try to be like, oh, look at these immigrants doing good. That's some shit. There's some immigrants is some immigrants that don't come with that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But white people will find the ones that do come with that bullshit and then be like, well, Mr. Mutombo here came here and worked hard and became a brain surgeon. What's
and that's
wrong
the
with
point
you?
that I'm making. That's the biggest point that I'm making, because a lot of the people, the dark-skinned individuals that are making these talking points, they are first and second gen, whatever the fuck, Caribbean, African, whatever the fuck, Jamaican. It doesn't matter. That's who they usually are, because they're dark, and they can speak well. They don't have a fucking, accent, right? They sound and look and been in America. So therefore, now, okay, look, they qualify as black. You see what I'm saying? And then the blacker they are, then other black folks, at first, we didn't pay attention to it, right? But there was these other black folks that was like, oh, look at these niggas. These niggas is making some really good points. Not realizing that these is plans.
Right. See, before the whole tether thing got popular and shit, I'd be like, man, something ain't right about that.
Right.
Like something's not right about this motherfucker, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you get that little, like, it's like that little, like, like, nigga, I'm about to sell to an undercover, nigga. Like, fuck that shit. I don't know what the fuck you talking about. I ain't got shit, man. Go somewhere else, man. I'll like you tomorrow or some shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you get like that type of feeling.
Yeah, and the thing is they took a page out of the Democrats' playbook. Because the Democrats would do the same thing. Because who the fuck? It was just that there was a few niggas, like FBA motherfuckers, who would fall in line too, because they started seeing there was money in it for the Democrats, right? But
it
guess
wasn't
what?
enough though.
Yeah, but it wasn't enough money. So what the Republicans did was, ooh, look, and they don't even like these niggas. We can use them.
We can use them. And we can advertise them to non-black people. Ain't gonna really be able to tell the difference, but we can use these motherfuckers and project them in front of black people to hurt and derange their internal politics and disturb like any type of unification.
Now you're seeing it. See how this game is played in pieces, is played and both sides use the same fucking tactics.
They use the same tactics.
We act like, oh, it's a Democratic plantation. No, these motherfuckers, the Republicans, is trying to make a Republican plantation right now.
Man, you now even black people relate to Trump because you got a mugshot.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So you see the game being played. You see that they are taking each other's strategies and plans.
Facts.
So you gotta understand this game that they's doing, and you gotta understand. Like today, what they do is they try to get the blackest looking motherfucker, most African looking motherfucker, to put him in front of him, so he will fucking regurgitate the dumb shit that they say.
Yep.
And that justifies their answers. That is a legitimate argument to them. Well, the black guy right here says,
yeah, they'll get a black guy from fucking Australia and like ask him how relevant black history is to him. Like,
right. It's like, oh, it's not relevant. Of course it's not relevant to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, fucking they'll ask Africans, how does slavery affect you, to an immigrant that's been here for his one generation? Because he's not affected by it.
Right. Your family, generations of your family, your grandparents didn't lose all of their wealth in Oregon when they got kicked out, or in Wilmington, North Carolina when they burnt that shit down.
Right.
Or Tulsa.
And the fact of the matter is, his first name is Michael. His last name is Amuku. Again, I told you guys.
Right.
them keeping their original last name. If an African immigrant doesn't change his first and his last name to a more American first and last name, he is signaling that he is not the same as us.
Yeah, it's a caste status type thing,
right?
Because the thing is that while everybody want to sit there and talk about these quote unquote white immigrants, back in the day when they talking about that Ellis Island shit, when I be talking about the migrant crisis, them motherfucking white people on Ellis Island, the Jays and the Eastern Europeans and all them, oh, they changed the Italians, they changed their last name. They took the Kino and Aini, they took all that shit off. Like if your name was like Smithkowski, that shit changed to Smith.
Right. Again, y'all got to see the games that are being played, and the different groups understand the game. They understand, okay, you say this, and this, and act like them, but at the same time, do it in a more clean way. Oh yeah, I'm gonna win. You understand? Let me steal their swag. Let me steal the way they talk. Let me steal their music. Let me steal all of this stuff. Let me learn how to mimic them and still do all these things. And this is what I tell people. And again, if you are first or second gen, please, I mean, you can be offended all you want. This is the truth. And my last point to this is this. Black women, I don't know how many black women are in here. How many grants have you received for your business that you've wanted to start? Black FBA women, how many businesses have you got grants for from all of these different companies who are giving money and grants to black women in order to elevate black women businesses? How many of y'all have gotten any? And you can go look this up. I don't give a shit. Like almost 90% of the black women that have gotten these kind of grants from the companies that are trying to help black women and blah, 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 they're not FBA. They are black first, second gen fucking Africans. They're not black FBAs. Again, pay attention to how this is being played. This is why I laugh every time they talk about, yeah, we elevate the black women because black women are out here struggling. They're going through way more than even the black men. Pay attention, because how many grants have they even offered black men, young black men entrepreneurs? Zero. But how many do they give to women? Oh, well, that's a whole different story. So pay attention to this shit. Pay attention to this shit. This shit is real.
Yeah. Big facts. Big facts.
Because black people are so quick now to not branch out and have new ways of thinking, or to go into careers like agriculture and these other career paths that black people don't typically get into. It's not because of racism stopping them from getting in there. It's because we're told for so long that you have to follow this path and you have to think a certain way.
We just talked about this, and I'm sorry we keep on breaking this. I just quick point, and then you can start again. Did you just hear what he said? Black folks are not getting into fucking agriculture. Wait. What is agriculture? It's farming.
Right.
I just literally talked about this. What did I tell you? We went from 15 million acres of land down to about 2 million. He completely ignored the point that white people were going around taking their fucking shit, selling white banks and business owners, forcing black folks to sell, white folks going on there just taking land. And then the black folks who have held out, they're not getting their even today. They're not getting their funding. They're not getting their credits that they're supposed to, that their white counterparts are giving. The fact of the matter is, when black folks try to do it, they do not get back the way that white agriculture. But see, this is the shit that I'm talking about. It's a complete ignoring of the facts.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, that's super facts, bro. That's super facts. And real quick, guys, if you guys haven't smashed that like button, please take a moment. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, please take a moment and make sure that you guys hit the bell. And also, please share the stream to your social media.
great place for a Black person. I think I'm an American. Anything that's available to you is available to me and mine.
I've personally never experienced white people having way more privileges than me. Like, I'm sure you could find certain institutions where Black.
She never found anything. She's suspect. Just saying.
No, she's white passing, and she is looked at.
Just exactly what I said.
Yeah, she is. She is what? She's racially ambiguous.
Yeah.
Right, and she's a woman.
What's old girl's name on Different World?
Which one?
The main character, Whitney. Wasn't that her
Whitney
name?
wasn't
Whitney?
the main character. She turned into one of the main characters after fucking other light skinned girl from the Cosby Show stopped being on the show.
What was her name? The old girl from the Cosby Show.
What's her real name? It was Whitley, and motherfucking the first girl was
Denise. Was
Denise?
it Denise?
Denise was the one. Yeah.
What's her real name?
She's the one that was married to Lenny Kravitz. I forget her fucking name, but that bitch was bad. That bitch was bad, bro.
Real shit. Real motherfucking shit. You know what I'm saying?
None of you motherfuckers who is as old as us that watch the fucking Cosby Show, if you say she was bad, you a liar.
Bro, everybody was, man.
Lisa Bonet.
Lisa Bonet, yeah. Old girl from bro, it was all kind of old, man. Listen, bro.
Right. If you
back in them days,
crush on Lisa Bonet, then you are a liar.
I had too much going on back then, bro. It was motherfucking Ashley on Fresh Prince. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucking Denise hippie motherfucking ass on the Cosbys. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Motherfucking Hillary on motherfucking Fresh Prince could have got it too.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? And the dark skinned girl on In the House with LL Cool J was stupid.
Oh,
cold.
she was super
stupid
bad.
cold.
She became a mental fucking. Oh wow, never mind. Yeah, you're right. She was bad too.
you can't look good like that and like not have like you lightweight crate. You gotta be lightweight crate.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, brother. Yeah, brother. Yeah, brother. Okay, go ahead. I just wanted to point that out because you're right. She is suspect, but again, you can look at these individuals and you can tell what it really is. I haven't really seen. No, because you know why? Because you're probably half white, and if your parents are not still together, you are with the parent that got a lot of money.
She's a black conservative, man. She look. Her name is Aaliyah Keys.
Right. Aaliyah Keys got a white daddy or a white mama that gets money.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Stop it. Don't stop. See that? Let me shut up. I'm shutting up, man. Shutting up.
Black people are treated differently. But in general, I don't think that I've missed out on anything because of being black. And
man, let me shut the fuck up. This is I'm not even saying nothing.
If anything, it's given me more of a voice because people will want to hear what I say now because I'm black. So if anything, I have more of a platform.
You're part-time black, homegirl. Like, stop, cut the motherfucking games, man. Like, I can't do it no more. Like,
she was the light-skinned black girl that was the only black girl in her fucking private school because her mommy and daddy made money.
Mm-hmm.
And because she went to the private school and she was technically black, right? Everybody wanted to know and hear her opinion. And she learned very quickly, if I don't say the shit that they want me to say, they are not gonna like me.
She got to be black and white. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she mixed. She's mixed with something. I think she's mixed with black and white.
And
it's very clear that she's mixed black and white.
And she's not a real one. Like, she's not a real, like, there's some mixed people that's real ones. You know what I'm saying? Like,
the thing
she's not a real one.
From the hood. She's never done bad. She's never had to struggle a day in her life. So a lot of these ideals that even more darker skinned black folks, FBA folks who tend to coon, what it is they come from a different environment. They've never struggled. They've never fucking actually had to deal with a lot of situations. They've had one or two situations that they knew were racist, but they kind of threw them away because they'll say, well, it was just a couple times. They're not in the thick of it because they have been in a white neighborhood that it might have taken time, right? But they were tentatively accepted, right? And that's what it was. I promise you, this little white girl used to have her hair pressed every single motherfucking day, every week. That's about the most black thing that she did. And she probably went to the white lady and got her shit pressed.
Bro,
Okay.
you know she used to watch Saved by the Bell and did not like Lisa, but she really fucked with Kelly and Jesse heavy.
That's real shit.
I fucking hate Lisa. God, why she has so many fucking parts? Like, you know, she was like that.
Right. This is the facts. As a matter of fact, Lisa Turtle was bad as fuck too. That bitch, I wish she didn't go crazy. Ooh, Lord, okay, keep on.
Listen, man. Look, let me shut up. I ain't even about to say nothing, man. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All the back in the day chicks look like way better than like what's going on nowadays. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
None of them
Okay, go ahead.
Right. Let me just shut up.
Just on the basis of being a black conservative and saying what's not popular than I would if I was just a white person who was also conservative.
I agree with the Supreme Court's decision to end affirmative action.
Oh man, them black people running, they trying to get over.
I think,
like, man, did you see how them black people ran over there to go buck dance for
yeah, every single black person I think got up.
Man, they was running like
ran over there.
like Usain Bolt.
Right. Now, I've already explained this, and I'm gonna try my hardest not to interrupt. I'm gonna try hard because this is a subject that like really irks my nerve because they're not talking about this whole affirmative action thing, right? And not only that, I have a feeling that there are a few individuals in here that are from states that do not even have affirmative action anymore. As a matter of fact,
dude,
if any of these motherfuckers, especially these black motherfuckers, say if they're from California and they act as if affirmative action is something that is real and present today, they're lying. Affirmative action has been gone in California since 1996. Longer than most of these kids have been alive.
Dude. Can you fucking
look,
affirmative
and most
action,
of these motherfuckers
fucking
look,
affirmative action is harming our fucking Asian and white brothers, dude.
And that's what they're saying. That's what they're gonna say. Now look, check this out. What's so funny is this. Most of these people are probably and most likely from states who don't even have affirmative action on the books anymore and haven't had affirmative action on the books for a long time, longer than they've been alive.
Right.
I promise you.
Facts. Big facts. Like super facts. Oh shit. Let's watch this shit.
Differently. But in general, I don't think that I've missed out on anything because of being black. And if anything, it's given me more of a voice because people will want to hear what I say now because I'm black. So if anything, I have more of a platform now just on the basis of being a black conservative and saying what's not popular than I would if I was just a white person who was also conservative.
I agree with the Supreme Court's decision to end affirmative action.
I don't know any black conservatives. I'm sorry, I had to interrupt it. She said I have more of a platform being a black conservative than I do if I'm a white conservative. I don't know any black conservatives that have a larger platform than Steven Crowder.
No, well, the thing is she didn't say that. What she said is more people want to hear from me now because I'm a black conservative. But pay attention. We had just been talking about this.
Dude, I'm getting all this attention.
Because you're black and all of the conservatives want you to say this so they can use you as their talking point, idiot.
Right. And
they just made that point.
Facts. And she just substantiated the shit.
Clearly.
Fucking ridiculous, dude.
I'm not going to start. Someone else can start. Sorry.
I think affirmative action has served its purpose. I think that it was necessary for a particular time. And I think that every black person knows how to get into college. You can pull out the names, the Oprah, President Obama. You can pull out the head of Time Warner was black man, the Forbes was black man. We know what to do now. We don't need affirmative action anymore. And to me, affirmative action is offensive sometimes, especially nowadays.
Affirmative action wasn't because people didn't know what to do.
Right. That's not what, and again, that's the point. You see what I'm saying? It's like she just made this point of, well, black folks now, they know what to do now. No, we've always known what the fuck to do, you fucking piece of shit lying motherfucker who don't have an idea of what the fuck affirmative action was. You're an idiot, and you're making black folks look like idiots.
Facts. Super facts. biggest facts ever. Like this shit. This is what I'm saying about these conservatives, bro. They be so intellectually dishonest. Like, we had no idea how to fill out no college application, but
you know what? I don't even know how to read. Where do I put my name on this thing, sir? I don't know what to do. So check this out. I failed the SATs and I only got a 600, even though I get a 500, 400 points just for putting my name on it. But I want you to put me in college, sir. You lying little bitch. Motherfuckers who got low SAT scores back in the day when affirmative action was a thing went to the military. What is she talking about? And again, let me look. And these motherfuckers is talking as if this is something that is still present.
Bro, they saying it with 100% of their heart.
Right, because here, bro, there's only literally something like 10 states, I think, that still have affirmative action on the books. Literally. This is the problem.
It's great. This is they gotta go. Like I'll be trying to tell motherfuckers, man, these people are a problem.
Dude, it's such a problem. Here's my last point that nobody seems to understand. The states that still have affirmative action on the fucking on the table and still in place, you guys do understand that the affirmative action isn't just for black folks. It's
right.
For people of color. So when they turn around and make this argument about Asians or not as many Asians, no, you know why not as many Asians? And you know why they put limits on Asians? Because if you allowed all the Asians who got really high SATs and really high grades into the school, especially the Ivy League school, there would be barely no white people.
Right.
45 to 55% of all of the kids at any Ivy League school or top rated school in this country are Asian. That's facts. Oh, wait. And guess what? You have Middle Eastern, Indian, black passing Asian Indian, Southeast Asian individuals who are dark-skinned that are using and saying they are black in order to get scholarships from black places and to get in under these things. So again, we're not even benefiting from this so-called system. And my very last point is this. We're not benefiting from it at all because they're not choosing us, and they haven't chosen foundational Black American kids for the last close to 15, 20 years.
Yeah, facts.
They've been using African immigrants.
Super facts.
So those are facts. I can back all of this up. I don't need to make any of this up. So go ahead.
Yeah, facts.
Because I have 6 children and 2 boys, 4 girls. And all of them went to Harvard and Columbia and this one and that one. And it breaks my heart to think that they accomplished that goal of getting into these institutions just because of the color of their skin.
I can definitely say that it creates a lot of tension when you have affirmative action. I remember my
Can
first
you
week
stop
at
that
University
real
of
quick?
Illinois, I was sitting with
When the affirmative action shit first started, ask the people, the black folks who actually got into colleges because of affirmative action, because, the first couple of years they had to bring in a lot of black folks, right? Ask them how they feel about fucking being in college and graduating from college and the numbers that they graduated in after they got in because of affirmative action. Ask them how they felt, because I guarantee you, they didn't give a shit. They did not give a shit. Well, I don't know if I got in this motherfucker because of, my skin color. Motherfucker, it does not matter.
Right. Right.
Does the motherfucking kid who has a D+ grade point average and motherfucking his daddy was in Harvard, does he give a fuck that
You
he
mean
got
like
in
George
because
Bush?
of his daddy building a fucking gym for fucking Harvard? No.
You mean like George Bush?
Right. Does he give a shit? No. And do you think black folks who originally benefited from this gave a shit? No. And should you, if you were benefiting from it, should you give a shit? No. You know why? Because if you get in, that's all that fucking matters. It doesn't matter if this guy thinks you got in for this reason or that guy gets in for that reason. I don't give a shit with your white ass fucking how you think I got in. Motherfucker, I don't give a fuck if you think I'm here only because I can run a football. Bitch, I'm here.
Facts. Super fact.
These motherfuckers sound dumb as shit.
Bro, I'm trying to tell you. Bro.
With some classmates, and a white student turned to me and jokingly like, "Hey Xavier, like, did you just attach a smiley face when you applied for this college?" And I started asking what he meant, and he said to me that he was like, "You're black. I'm assuming you had decent grades. You could have just attached a smiley face and you would have gotten into the university." So I was livid by that, and I went off. I started naming all my accomplishments, and I felt so confident only for about an hour. Because then an hour later, I started saying to myself, like, "Wow, like, did I actually earn my way in here?" I started to have this insecurity, and I started wondering to myself, did I earn this position myself? Or
motherfucker, you don't know if you're smart or not.
Right, and this is the problem. Are you questioning if you earned it because you know you probably didn't do as much as the fucking Asian or the white person who fucking busted their ass?
You know if you did good in college or not. That's why I brag all the time. If anybody ever sees anybody that I went to school with in any capacity, Bitch We Lit. Shout out to my man Bitch We Lit. He grew up with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, he knows me. He knows my brother. He knows my mom. He knows my dad. Anybody that knows me in real life knows that I have intellectually dog walked everybody everywhere where I've been. You know if you're smart or not, if you've done some shit. In college, you can go look at
you.
Right. But even still, though, you can go look at your grades. How many times have you messed up a curve? How many times has a teacher said people never get hundreds on my test and you've gotten hundreds? You know whether you performed academically or not. If you have a doubt in your mind that you didn't perform academically, then you didn't. And that's because you're not as smart as you may want to believe that you are. But me, bruh, let me tell you something. I'm not intimidated of anybody academically. I will go anywhere and 15-second knockout anybody.
Bruh, I know for a fact that I could have got into any school educationally because I was smart enough to do that.
Facts.
My grade point average was above average, and I rarely went to school. I was a problem. I was out there gang. Bro, I had better grades than white people, and I didn't show up. I smoked weed and I was gangbanging.
Bro, listen, in school, at work, like, you know how some people just have the party house?
Yeah.
My house has always been the party house. You know what I'm saying? Always. When I was in college, my dorm room was the party room.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I was in the honors college. I graduated magna cum laude from all of my programs. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, bruh, did people here a very simple test that you can ask. Did people want to be in your study group, motherfucker?
Right.
How many curves did you mess up?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, here's another thing though. Here's the real thing. The real question you got to ask is, does my state or does the school state that I'm going to even have affirmative action in place?
Right.
That's what you should be asking, because I just pointed out the fact that like fucking only 10 states have affirmative action still.
Right.
Most affirmative action has been completely washed off the books almost 20 years, if not longer.
Right.
Fucking idiots.
I mean, this dude was sensitive about it. He said, I don't know. I doubted my own accomplishments. Bruh, it's very easy. Can you do a quadratic equation, motherfucker? Well, then you're probably confident in math. Can you calculate a slope, bitch? Like, can you do an integral? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you know, like, the laws of thermodynamics? Like, motherfucker, this is objective shit. You either know it or you don't.
Did you write a dissertation on your fucking graduating? Bitch, shut the fuck up. That motherfucker is a lying piece of shit.
Right. He was like, I don't know. Like, I questioned my own. If you're questioning your abilities, go get you one of them Kaplan books and take a test.
Right. Go take another SAT test.
Yeah.
Go take another ACT test. Go, if you're doubting it, are you passing in school right now?
Right. There's that.
Are you still getting the same grades that you got in high school?
Are you on academic probation currently?
Right.
Are you eligible to play sports? Can you pledge a fraternity? Is your grade point average where it needs to be? Like, these are this is very simple shit that you can look at and say, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, or I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right. Now, here's the thing. They're about to try to make a point that most people who got in from fucking affirmative action, where do you get the wait till you hear this stupid shit. Okay, go ahead.
Here we go.
Or did my ancestors' suffering earn this for me?
And two, I've seen it in the sense of like affirmative action taking away from other people who are minorities. Like I had a friend who was Asian and he in high school and he really wanted to go to MIT. That was his dream school. He interned there. He was super like prepared to go there and he didn't get in. And you can only assume that it was because of affirmative action.
Hold on. Hold on. No. He didn't get into MIT because there was other Asians who fucking had better grades and they wanted them instead of him because they put a limit on the Asian students because like I said, most Asian students, if you did it strictly based upon the grades and all that other shit, the fact of the matter is most of these schools will be filled. They cut it off. See, they did, and she says, well, you gotta assume that it was a black person. Bro, go look at how many motherfucking black folks is getting in MIT. And then on top of that, look at their fucking IQ, look at their grades, and tell me that they didn't belong. Fuck
right. And
this
most of
bitch has no idea what she's talking about.
Right, exactly. The only black people that are in Ivy League schools are black people who need to be, like, deserve to be, have earned being in Ivy League school, because many black people don't even take a traditional college route as far as their career goes. Like, that's not how that works. Like,
yeah, this is
it's white people and Asians competing in college, and Asian people are now upset because of legacy admissions. You know what I'm saying? They're
upset. They're putting the blame on black folks.
Right.
But who they really should be upset at is white folks.
Which they know that.
Yeah,
they just understand how to play the game.
Yeah.
They understand that they understand what they need to do in order to get their back scratched a little bit.
Right. And they know that, well, if we turn around and blame it on black folks, then we can always have an excuse for why we failed and why we didn't get into the school that we wanted to get into.
Exactly. And we'll be making white people happy, and we won't make them too mad if we just kind of bypass them and go right at the black people. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit is stupid. This chick right here is a clown.
Such a large Asian population that we wanted other people.
Yeah, I was going to actually argue that it's more racist nowadays because it excludes so many Asian Americans from getting into universities who do deserve a spot. And they.
Oh wait! Stop! It's. I was going to make the point because it includes Asian people. And no, listen, dude. Asian folks are not getting into the colleges because they over excel, and the reason why. Go look at the Ivy League numbers.
I will be goddamned if these motherfuckers try to change history to make it as if affirmative action was some pro-black, anti-Asian legislation created to oppress Asian. That's
what they're doing.
That's what they're trying to do.
Right, and then you'll hear the next argument. Wait till after this argument. But here's the thing. Go look at the Ivy League numbers. I don't care what anybody says. Go look. You're going to see Asians make up 35 to 55% of all fucking students in fucking Ivy Leagues. And look, if they make up 35 to 55% of all the students, listen, of all the students in motherfucking goddamn fucking the Ivy League schools and the higher rated schools in this country, meaning primarily white institutions, okay? Those are their numbers. They make up 6% of the population. And they are in, across the board, 35 to 55% of all Ivy Leagues and the higher ranked, predominantly white institutions.
Facts.
That's not them motherfuckers not getting in.
Right.
Pay attention to this. This is why these motherfuckers is lying. There's just other people that are getting in, and they've reached the number that they're comfortable with.
Yeah, and they want to. What they're basically, they want to block out so that it's not so overpopulated with Asians, so they can have a certain reserved amount of untouchable seats for white people, plus the legacy shit. Like, they know that.
These are all lies, dude. This is just blatant lies, bullshit, and sorry garbage arguments that can be defeated if you took 10 minutes to fucking do some basic research. Go ahead, bro.
Yep.
Can't get in because of affirmative action, which again, like you were saying, was necessary at the time. But now it's like anybody, if you have the skills to do it and you're in America, you can get in.
I don't think affirmative action is the worst thing, considering all the different types or aspects of the background you might take into account when somebody's getting into college, whether they were in certain clubs, Boy Scouts, what type of classes they took that might not be available to everybody. I don't think that factoring in the affirmative action is necessarily a bad thing, but I feel like because of everything you guys have said, the optics behind it are so horrible today that even if it is slightly beneficial in the long run for certain people, I think we can probably refocus most of that into figuring out like the class that people come from, the neighborhoods, the backgrounds, or whatever, without it having to necessarily target race. The only thing that I kind
of... The laws targeted race, Destiny.
Hey,
that's why.
The thing is what he just said is literally how affirmative action in the states that are still have it. That's literally based upon affirmative action, how they do it now. It doesn't matter what your race is, as long as you're not white. That's number one. Number two,
and you still can be white. You can be a white woman. You can be a white disabled person.
White and
you can be
from
poor and white.
Action.
Yeah.
And number two, the fact of the matter is, I've already pointed this out. Back in the day when affirmative action started, for the first year or two, it was a lot of black folks that got into college. But guess what? Who really gained from affirmative action when affirmative action was really going hard?
White women.
There you go.
We're gonna have to do a stream on it. Vox did an article about
I showed that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do a stream about that specifically just to get it up on the books.
So these motherfuckers are making claims that they have no idea about. They are saying things that are just blatantly false.
Yeah, that's what they do, bro. They get paid to do these talking points.
Right, and it's both the liberals and these motherfucking right wingers. They're both just wrong, blatantly wrong.
Right, and that's what people should pay attention to. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get these people that get triggered because you say one thing and get triggered because you don't say another thing. Pay attention. We have issues with arguments on both sides. And this is the issue that you get when you have people who are not qualified, or when you have people that want to be opportunistic and jump in front of a conversation for their own benefit, actually just deranging the politics and not, saying things properly. You know what I'm saying? You get this kind of situation here.
Truth. They want to fucking make excuses. They want to do all this shit. The fact of the matter is, all of these people are making excuses for their failure, and they're trying to put it on the lap of black folks when black folks did not benefit from this like they want.
We also didn't make the law either. The same people that were the racist fucks that created the environment where this kind of shit had to be made were the ones that made and signed those laws.
Right. So again, when we're being intellectually honest, the fact of the matter, the numbers do not agree with any of them.
Facts.
Come on, man.
Facts. Well, shit, you guess what time it is for your boy?
Oh, it's time to go?
It's time to go, bro.
I ain't mad.
But
we'll finish it up on the next stream. Right? But we'll start with that.
Well, let's see. What time can you trying to do a stream on Friday?
Yeah, we can do a stream on Friday. Friday night? Or Friday in the morning?
Friday in the morning, same time.
Yeah.
8:55.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
All right, cool. All right, well, I'm gonna set it up probably before I go to work. So make sure y'all got y'all notifications hit. Make sure if you're not part of the Discord that y'all join the Discord. You know what I'm saying? Hit that link in the chat.
I think real quick, I just want to say this, bro. I think the fact of the matter is today, there wasn't a lot of people that came in here today, and I know I was very excitable during this whole thing. But my point for this whole thing was when you understand true history, you can see that I think the common denominator for this whole stream has been when you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, when you don't know history, when you don't understand history, when you don't understand the things that went on, then you can sit here and make these dumbass arguments. You can sit here and say the dumbest shit, and people will just believe you because
Yeah,
they
they'll just
don't
accept
think,
it.
because they don't think history and the truth about things are important. But the reason why they are important, especially for Black folks, especially for things like reparations, it's because it marks out evidence and proof of all the different things that we had to go through economically, personally, physically, you know what I mean? How our family and how our neighborhoods were destroyed, how a lot of these things happened and how they came in. And nobody can make an argument against what you're saying unless they make bullshit arguments that they try to dismiss everything that you say. That's it.
Facts.
History
Facts. And
matters.
that's one of the reasons why the history is so under attack. That's one of the reasons why it's so under attack. You know what I'm saying? Which is one of the reasons why we got to make sure that we continue to update and keep account of everything that's going on, as well as continue to fight to get them to keep their hands off.
Right. We gotta make sure we keep giving true history. We got it. And if anybody needs stuff backed up, if you want sources, if you want this shit, all you have to do is hit me up. You hit me up on Twitter, hit me up on Facebook, IG. It doesn't fucking matter.
Yep. You can check the about page. That's got all me and Izzy both. You know what I'm saying? It's got our social media links. And then make sure y'all subscribe to Izzy's channel too. Reality Check Virtual Radio.
Yeah, because I don't say anything that I cannot back up. I don't say, like, I will never say something and be like, yeah, I don't know. I heard it from this guy. No. Anything that I have said out of my mouth, I can back up with multiple pieces of evidence that nobody can take away. All right? I just want y'all to know that. All right.
All right, y'all. Well, make sure, like I said, make sure that you guys are subscribed to all the channels. Make sure y'all hit the backup channels. Make sure y'all get in that Discord. Hit that link in the chat. We appreciate y'all, and we're going to be back on Friday at the same time. So make sure that you guys are subbed. Hit the bell, and we'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
Yeah, get your morning started with the truth of Reality Check, Virtual Radio, Black Light Revelations. You already know what it is.
Facts.
Bro.
Peace.
Peace.